think I need to do story mode first.
Atlas.
Dang.
Here's another one. One time for the mind now. Let's go.
Could be something true now. I'm not looking anymore. The times we're faking, never flow now. Sharing real connections, what we'll make. Come on, let go, baby, more. Don't you know you let it on a jump for that? Try to put the boat double cooking on a go, but I know use. Hey, I'm gonna go in.
And I went with a flow, double trouble on the go poses. Kid posing, I'm posing against these foes. Please know I'm a roses. They grew out on the concrete jungles.
Not a day goes by without me thinking about that way the world stepped in motion. When you walked into my life and we connected like we share the same emotion. Couldn't help but move that glass open as spiders into each other's blind spotches. All this energy's got us inspired now. We couldn't stop it, just set it free and dance.
Persona 4, dancing all night.
Yeah, turn up the volume here. This thing messed up. Oh well.
Here's another one.
Persona 4, dancing all night.
Double check here. For now. It's not a lot. Guess I'll go do story.
Well then, that concludes this audition. We'll contact you individually with your results after some time.
Thank you, sir.
Take care now.
Thanks for everything.
Thank you for staying so late.
Thank you so much. See you. Please excuse us. Sorry. Thank you for everything. We'll get back. Oh, good luck.
No, you're so
I'm rooting for you too. Excuse me?
Scream?
It was from the studio. Hey!
What?
What's going on?
Hey, have you heard that rumor? Huh? Which one? When you look at some website at midnight, there's this weird video that plays on its own. It's hard to really make out much at first, but you can totally see this idol who should be dead dancing in it. When you watch the video to the end, supposedly you get taken away to the other side, and you never wake up.
When you awaken, you are greeted with an unfamiliar sight. The floor, walls, even the ceiling, everything in the mysterious room is colored a deep ultramarine. Before you sits a similarly unfamiliar woman.
Oh, welcome to the Velvet Room. Don't worry, this is merely a dream. The you in the real world is sound asleep. Having said that, you're no guest of this room.
She fixes you with a piercing stare, as if appraising you before continuing on.
Perhaps you've gone astray in your dream and wandered into a realm beyond your ken. This is the Velvet Room, a place that exists between dream and reality, mind and matter. Normally, only those who have agreed upon some form of contract may come here.
After saying so, she turns her gaze downward, as if in contemplation.
But nothing meaningless happens in this room. If you are here, there must be a reason for it. Very well. I'll use this as an opportunity to tell you of a guest we once hosted here.
The woman before you straightens her posture slightly, then faces you directly. It seems she's going to tell you a story about someone other than yourself. Who does she intend to tell you about?
Yes, I know just whose story to relate. This is the tale of an unforgettable guest who kindled within my heart a flame that none of our countless visitors could match. I knew him as Yu Narukami. In overcoming a terrible ordeal that befell a certain town, he formed an irreplaceable bond with his friends. The power of their bond supported them. Through every trial, even when facing an adversary with inhuman powers, they remained undaunted throughout. You seem perplexed. I'm not surprised. You could have no notion of what I'm speaking of, after all. In that case, I will show you a glimpse into the story after they overcame their ordeal.
When the woman raises her hand, brilliant light slowly floods her surroundings.
To be clear, this is not the story of the ordeal they faced. One might think of it as a festival that they performed in, at the risk of their own lives.
Production company Takura Productions Practice Studio. About half a year has passed since we solved the case that took place in peaceful rural town of Inaba. Summer vacation has been over for a while, but the heat still clings. Today we had come to a certain production company's office for a particular purpose.
Rise-san's very late. It's past time for our lesson already.
Upon saying so, Naoto looks up at the clock on the wall. Naoto Shirogane. She's an underclassman, and 1 year younger than me, but she's a detective and 5th generation of the distinguished Shirogane family. When I first met her, she had problems with how others saw her, and presented herself as an adult man. Now though, she shifted away from that. I nod to Naoto before taking out my own cell phone, scanning the backlit screen.
No text or voicemail from her. What about you?
Me neither, it seems. I wonder if something happened. But in that case, I think you'd be the first one Rise-san would contact, Senpai.
Rise Kuchikawa. She's an underclassman and a year younger than me, like Naoto. She's a teen idol famous across Japan, working under this company, Takura Productions. Just like Naoto, she had her own issues to deal with. When we first met her, Rise had been on hiatus from her work as an idol. However, the year we spent together helped her grow. She's currently in the midst of making a comeback to showbiz. Actually, Rise's comeback is essentially the reason ordinary high school students like us are here in the first place.
Should I give her a call?
No, we can wait a little longer. Her work schedule is tight to begin with. It's us who are imposing on her time. Or, rather, it's me.
My finger hovers over the call button, but I stop at Naoto's words and put my cell away into my pocket. It's true, Rise must be very busy. It may be better to wait a bit longer and see what happens. Just as I'm thinking this, Naoto moves on to another conversation topic.
This still seems so hard to believe. For me, of all people, to be standing in a production studio awaiting dance lessons.
I couldn't have pictured it either, if it wasn't for Rise's comeback performance.
The Love Meets Bonds Festival. They're calling it LMB for short, correct? It seems to be a momentous occasion. I've heard TV crews will be there on the day of the concert.
That's right, we'll be participating as backup dancers in a performance at LMB, the debut show for Rise's comeback. Of course, Rise aside, we're all just amateurs. We're going to need a lot of practice before we can handle a real show. So far, our practice has been extremely rigorous, and it's still continuing on now.
Ballroom dancing I could have managed, but I'm entirely useless at this. I felt much more at ease fighting monsters in a strange world than I feel here.
Oh man, I'm super late. I'm so sorry.
Rise-san! Oh, thank goodness you're all right.
My last meeting just wouldn't end. Were you two waiting long?
Don't worry about us. I'm sure all your hard work will pay off in the end.
You're so nice, Senpai. I may be late, but I guess there was a silver lining.
We don't hold it against you. With the music festival right around the corner, you must be overwhelmed with all the preparations. After all, it's not just we two you've been supervising. I've heard that you're making time to give lessons to the others in Inaba as well.
As Naoto says, we two aren't the only ones of our friends who will be participating in this Love Meets Bonds festival. The members of the investigation team, our friends who help solve countless cases in distant Inaba, will be performing at this festival as well. Yosuke, Chie, Yukiko, Kanji, and Teddy. Even now, the 8 of us are practicing our dance moves daily. Though Rise is busy with work, she's been going back and forth between here and Inaba to help teach our friends in the country.
Well, everyone's pitching in to help me. Senpai, Naoto-kun, my friends in Inaba. I want all of us to be our absolute best on stage, so I'll do whatever I can to help achieve that. But man, the festival producer's been a real pill about it. Just a minute ago, she was going on and on about throwing our money away on amateurs. It was like I wasn't in the room. I was seriously seeing red. We'll show her. We're gonna pull this off whatever it takes, and then she'll see how amazing all of you are.
You're a true professional. My hat is off to you.
You know it. So you can't slack off either, Naoto-kun. Come on, let's get this rehearsal start.
Oh, good. All 3 of you are here.
The studio door opens, cutting off Rise's words. The man poking his head through the doorway might be the only other friendly face here besides Rise in this unfamiliar studio.
Inoue-san, what's up? Wait, is that you, Nozomi? Oh my gosh! Hey girls, it's been forever!
The man called Inoue gives a smile and enters the room we're in. There are a number of girls behind him, but I don't recognize any of them.
I'm sorry to interrupt your practice, Yu-kun and Naoto-kun.
Ah, Rise-san's manager.
Could you spare a moment of your time? There are some people I'd like to introduce you both to. They're another idol group with Takura Productions. They'll be performing at LMB, too. Allow me to introduce Nozomi Nakahara, Tamami Uesugi, Sumomo Ujima, and Tomoe Sayama. These are the next generation of idols, following in Rise-chan's footsteps.
I see, so they're Rise's juniors. The 4 girls, clearly all part of the same group, smile at us, dressed in matching costumes. This isn't good. I'm not an expert on the showbiz world to begin with, so there's no way I'd know about them. Is it rude to tell actual teen idols to their faces that I don't know them? If Yosuke were here right now, things would be different. However, backup comes from an unexpected place. Naoto is the one to speak up, previously lost in thought next to me.
I've seen them on TV before. As I recall, they're members of Kanamine Kitchen.
Wow, Naoto-kun, that's right. You sure do your homework on this stuff. But it's just you four? Where's Konami?
Konami-chan's doing PR right now for her solo photo book that's out soon.
Kanamine Kitchen. I recall hearing that name. I see. They're the members of that group. If I remember right, they're a popular idol group made to center around Kanami Mashida, another of Rise's juniors. The four girls Inoue-san brought here make up the group Kanamine Kitchen, minus Kanami-san herself right now.
You know, Inoue-san, you've been pushing Konami too much lately. I don't think having her take on every job she's offered is a good thing.
You don't mince words, do you, Tomoe-chan?
Well, I have to be direct. LMB is just around the corner. Do you understand that even now we're behind on rehearsing?
Oh, I do. Trust me, I know how big that event is going to be for your group.
Hey, I want to do photo book work too. I want to model lots of outfits like cute swimsuits.
All right, Sumomo-chan, just calm down. If a job like that comes in, I'll make sure you get a crack at it.
Tomoe-san gives a weary sigh as Sumomo-san clings to Inoue-san, like a pouting child. They're supposedly Rise's juniors, but I can't get a read on any of their actual ages. It's a little baffling. How old are they actually? If I'll be speaking directly to them, how polite should I be? While I'm thinking it over, Naoto, who seems startled by their presence in a completely different way, mutters somewhat taken aback.
This is a bit overwhelming. It's like being in a room with 5 Rise-sans.
What? Am I that much like them? Is that what you think of your coach?
Oh, no. That wasn't my intent at all.
So this guy's Yusan? Huh.
Sure reminds me of Labrys. If I recall Inoue-san's earlier introduction, this aggressive girl must be Tamami-san. After walking over towards us, she looks into my face and stares intently at me. Did I do something to offend her?
I'm Yu Narukami. It's nice to meet you.
Whoa, listen to this guy. Aren't you a tad too composed? You seem way too cool. I don't like it one bit.
Jeez, there she goes again. I'm sorry, Senpai. She's always quick to pick fights with anyone and everyone.
I see, so that's the kind of girl she is. When I nod at Rise's words, Tamami-san dramatically points at me. What now?
Just you wait, Yusan. The next time I see you, I'll have a herd of boys with me. All of them better and dreamier than you. It'll be a boy trail that goes so far back you can't see the end. Like a goldfish's you-know-what.
The air in the room goes frigid at Tamami-san's bizarre example. Is that intentionally awkward? Or should I say something and back her up?
I'm sorry. Tamami-chan isn't very good at metaphors.
Hey, why'd you go with you-know-what? Are we not supposed to say goldfish poop?
Well, I don't think saying poop in and of itself would damage an idol's image. Though, when you go out of your way to avoid saying it like that, it just calls more attention to it.
Shut up!
Tomomo-san darts away as Tamami-san chases her, while Tomoe-san watches in exasperation. This suddenly became a sketch comedy. That's when the last member standing next to Inoue-san steps forth and smiles cheerfully. Her name was, right, Nozomi-san.
Come now, everyone. A lady should always be graceful.
I'm pleased to meet you. I'm Naoto Shirogane.
It's an honor to make your acquaintance. I hope to make an impression on you.
She's got that glowing smile. I see. No wonder she's part of the same group as the other 3. Nozomi-san seemed at first glance like someone you could talk to normally, as opposed to her colleagues, but it seems she won't be a cakewalk either. Naoto must have been thinking the same thing. When I look to her, she's desperately trying to relax her frozen expression as she responds to Nozomi-san.
Yes, well then.
All right, that's enough, everyone. They're just amateurs, so try not to bother them too much.
Oh, it's no bother. We're fine. Right, Senpai?
It was a pleasant change of pace.
Really? Yay! Then I'll keep right on liking you.
Okay, that's enough. You two gotta know when to put the brakes on these girls. If you don't, you'll never hear the end of it.
Oh?
Who are these people anyway, Rise-senpai? And there's more coming, right? I heard they're your friends, but they're not your boyfriends, are they?
Of course not. I mean, how would that even be possible? But they are all important to me. They're my friends, more precious to me than anything.
For a moment, the four of them are at a loss for words upon hearing Rise. An odd silence settles. What's wrong? I don't think what she said was that weird.
Friends, huh?
That sounds so nice.
Then again, you could say you senpai is special to me.
Ooh, is that so?
Cutting off my train of thought, Rise grabs my arm and clings like usual. I know she's just joking, but Rise, can an idol like you afford to do something like that in front of other people?
Rise-san.
Oh dear. Well, I guess if anyone can get away with it, it's you, Rise-chan.
That reminds me, Inoue-san. You're done introducing everyone, right? We need to get started on our lesson.
You're right. We ought to get going in that case. Everyone, let's break until the evening interview. Could you stay in your dressing room so I can come get you later?
Okay.
The members of Kaname Kitchen reply in unison, and bow before promptly and smoothly filing out of the room. Maybe it's odd, but ever since I started coming to Takara Productions, I've seen a lot of people who automatically shift gears like this. They really are professionals. I suppose it goes to show that even these girls are entertainers through and through.
Please excuse us.
Oh yes! The TV spot for LMB is going to start airing today. You should let everyone know. It'll be broadcast across Japan, so they should be able to see it in Inaba too.
Nice! Thanks, Inoue-san!
Inoue-san is the last to leave, and we're back to just the three of us in the studio. The sudden quiet is like the aftermath of a storm. Naoto mumbles, almost involuntarily.
A TV commercial. Well, that's what we filmed the other day, yes? It's really going to appear on TV.
Is it finally hitting you? That's right, all our smiling faces will be on TVs all across Japan. So there's no backing out of this now, okay, Naoto-kun?
Come now. You needn't say it like that.
I'll email everyone about the ad later. Let's get practicing.
I'm sure they'll be watching even if we don't tell them about it.
On that point, I agree. I doubt they'd ever miss festivities like this.
She has a point. I think of the faces of our friends in Inaba and can't help but smile. The Love Meets Bond Festival's TV commercial introduces all the participants of the event, so we all participated in that filming too. We're going to appear on TV, and this time it won't be on some bizarre program that only comes on at midnight. It does feel a little embarrassing, but it'll certainly be an exciting experience. Not to mention, my friends are even more attentive to this kind of thing than I am. They've probably already invited each other over and are waiting for the commercial's broadcast. The funny mental image brings a smile to my face.
The Love Meets Bonds Festival. Let passionate songs and dance echo across the world. In addition to this all-star cast, there will be special guests. The talented devilish idol, Rise Kujikawa. The meaty idol group, Kaname Mashita and Kaname Kitchen.
Come join us at LMB Festival. We'll form a passionate bond with you all. Our meat's extra yummy, so...
Enjoy, everyone!
Oh, there we are! Where? Right there!
Huh? We have a huge sale on large flat screen TVs today.
Mommy, don't look at them.
That night, Rise, Naoto, and I were still spending our time on dance practice at Takara Production Studio.
One, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. Come on, Naoto-kun. Hey guys, let's stop for a bit.
This is intense. I didn't envision it to be this tough. It's all worked out in my head, but...
Well, there's your problem. You're thinking too much. You stiffen up like that. Some skill is necessary, of course, and you have to factor in the choreography, too.
Hey, Silverlight. Yeah. No, not Siri.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch.
Go away. This is Persona 4 Dancing All Night. It is the rhythm game sequel to Persona 4 Golden and Persona 4 Arena and Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. I know, right?
But once you have that, all you need to do is show how you feel by moving with the music.
I gotta do the story mode first. I've already played this before on the Vita, but this is the PS4 version. But I gotta play through the story mode first to unlock the rest of the songs or to play. So that's what I'm doing.
Is that how it works? You, Senpai, what do you think about when you dance?
How are you doing tonight? What are your plans for New Year's? Do you have a New Year's resolution?
I don't think of anything, really. I'm just having fun.
That's how it should be. Dancing isn't just about moving to the rhythm. It's expressing yourself and your feelings to the people watching you.
The story takes a while to start, though. You missed the very beginning intro when you a little girl walks into another idol hanging herself.
If you're trying to get across the message
Or
that this is
who
fun,
hung herself.
then us dancers need to be having more fun than anyone.
Expressing one's feelings, huh? That makes a kind of sense now that you explain it. In ancient times, dancing was a form of culture developed as a means of expressing one's faith and ideals without words. So then, it's not a matter of being good or bad at it. I must instead learn how to express myself without fear.
Come on, Naoto-kun. You're still overthinking it. It's like what Chie-senpai always says. Don't think, feel. In your case, you just gotta loosen up and enjoy yourself. Don't worry if you do a move wrong. Okay, let's try it from the top one more time.
Thanks. I don't think I'm doing anything special in particular. I actually probably will be streaming this.
Already? Can't we please, take a short break?
I think it's like a good hour until we do like a real song for the story. Reese is still raring to go, but it's clear to see that Naoto's legs are shaky, and she sounds flustered. A quick break might help. As I'm deciding how I can help the situation, my cell that I'd set off to the side begins ringing loudly and vibrating. Cooking anything special in particular, or do you not really cook at all? Caller ID shows the name Yosuke Hanamura. Yosuke to the rescue.
It's Yosuke. I need to step out for a bit to take this.
Okay, then we'll start right after you come back.
Yeah. Persona games, even the dancing one and the fighting one, are pretty story heavy. And this, as I think if I remember right, I could be wrong. I could be overestimating it a bit. It might be something like half an hour to 45 minutes until you do like the first real song. And then I think it's like a good around the same amount of length, 30 minutes to another 45 minutes until you do a second song. But then after that, it starts being more frequent.
Oh, I'm saved.
Hello? Yosuke?
Yeah, I actually like this because they did a Persona 3 dancing and a Persona 5 dancing afterwards. And which is fine and all. You know, when you play a rhythm game, you don't expect a whole lot of story. But I personally enjoy this one more because I like the story. And on top of that, I actually prefer the Persona 4 soundtrack over the both of the other ones.
Yo, partner, are you okay to talk right now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Good.
At the sound of the familiar voice on the line, I can't help but smile in relief. My partner in Innova keeps talking in his usual careless, carefree tone.
Dude, we saw the commercial! We all gathered around the TV at Junes when it was on. Man, seeing that stuff got us all pumped up. Are we all celebrities now? Maybe I should start working on my autograph.
That might be a good idea.
Anyway, we're heading over there tomorrow. We leave first thing in the morning, so I'm sure we'll get there before noon. Just wait until you see where all our training has gotten us.
Do you play RPGs at all?
I look forward to it.
Even at our first practice, Yosuke surprised us all with his naturally deft moves. The videos that Risei's been recording only prove he's been getting better and better. It's been a while since then, so I'm sure he'll show us a dance as amazing as he says. Lost in thought, I pick up on what sounds like arguing on the other side of the call. It's already starting. I can easily picture what's happening on their end, and I end up smiling despite myself.
What the... Dude! Teddy, hold your horses. You'll get your turn. So, hey!
Hello, is this Sensei? I'm doing very well.
Oh yeah? I'm glad to hear that.
Teddy is a resident of the TV world that we met through the case we solved. Still, he's as important a friend as the rest of us. Right now he lives at Yosuke's. Normally he wears his trademark bear fur, and the local kids know him as a mascot of the department store Juness. However, judging by the tone of his voice, he must be taking his inner form as a young man right now. Sounds like he grabbed Yosuke's cell away though. He might end up regretting that.
I bet it must be lonely without me there, but don't you worry about that.
Well, if you do play RPGs, what kind of RPGs do you play? How about that?
I'll be coming with the others tomorrow to get married to you, Sensei.
What?
That should be interesting.
Nana-chan and Pops are coming too, of course. Let's see, what other news is there? Huh? Ah!
What up? How's it going, Aaron? On the other end, it sounds like Teddy turned around, and a melodramatic scream rings out. I shift the phone a little farther from my ears. Business as usual. My guess is that Yosuke just got back up and saw Teddy with the swiped phone. I think I know them well enough to work out what will happen next.
Damn it, Teddy, I was still talking to him.
No! Yosuke! Violence isn't the answer!
Sounds like you two are still getting along.
What gave you that idea? Anyway, that's the gist of it. We're coming tomorrow. Tell Risei and Naoto we said hi. See ya!
See you tomorrow.
I'm a little lost on what's going on in chat right now.
Huh? Are you done with the studio, Yukun?
I turn at the familiar voice and see Inoue-san standing there with a can of coffee in his hand. It seems pretty late already though. Being the manager of a teen idol must be a pretty demanding job.
No, not yet. I was just taking a call.
Ah, I see. By the way, I'm sorry about the commotion this afternoon. Is Risei-chan still with you?
Yes, she's helping us rehearse.
That reminds me, I don't think I've thanked you yet. I'm still surprised that you agreed to perform.
Oh, okay.
Would you like some coffee?
I graciously accept the coffee and answer Inoue-san's smile with one of my own. Agreed to perform. Inoue-san's most likely referring to backup dancing at LMB.
Thank you. We were surprised too. I never thought we'd be asked to perform with Risei in her comeback show.
Risei-chan insisted on it as soon as her spot at the festival was decided. As close as you all are to her, you're still just ordinary folks. To be honest, I was against it at first, but seeing you rehearse convinced me. I knew then this would be a great show.
What? I feel like there's some kind of inside joke you guys are going on. I mean specifically the imagine not knowing.
Is that so?
I've been working in this industry for quite a while now, you know. I've developed a sixth sense as a manager. There's no question that Risei-chan changed after getting to know you all. She always had something special that shined from within. But I feel like that's been polished to an even brighter gleam.
I would agree that, like, the Vanishing of Ethan Carter had much better graphics. Much better than I expected, considering, because Aaron can tell you that We talked about it when that game was still being shown off back at Google. But I never got to play it until recently, the day before yesterday and yesterday. But I actually still like the story of 1111 more. It's a really good game though.
When Rise-chan's with you, she seems to glow even more than usual. That's why I decided to place my bets on all of you. Give you a place on the reborn Rise Kujikawa's big debut.
We'll do our best.
I hope I'm not just putting more pressure on by telling you this.
Yeah, that's me too, Silverlight. I'm a big story person.
I'm serious though. There's no need to worry. We're professionals. If you and your friends give 100%, then we'll amplify that energy and put on a hell of a show for the audience.
I like that you asked her about the Trung special.
As your friend's manager, I'll give you all the support I can as well.
Inoue-san usually seems like a fairly stoic person, but when he talks about Rise, his face really lights up. I guess even as a competitive showbiz professional, Rise has that much charm. I'm filled with sudden pride and relief. From both his praise of Rise and his confidence in us, I can only reply with a grateful nod.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot I was in a hurry. I'll talk to the management, so go ahead and keep using the studio. Make sure you're not up too late, though.
I understand. By the way, what's your hurry?
Oh, it's probably nothing. Although, you haven't seen the Kanamin Kitchen Girls, have you? Or someone that looked like them, maybe?
No, I haven't seen them. The only time I did was when you were introducing us.
That's all right then. I'm sorry if I said anything to worry you. Well, I should head to a meeting now, so I'll see you later.
I recall the 4 idols I met this afternoon as I considered the situation. They might not be on Rise's level, but they're big names for Takura Productions. It seems odd that Inoue-san and manager would ask me for their whereabouts. He looked somewhat flustered as well. Could something have happened? As I puzzle over it, someone bolts in front of me and trips, flailing wildly. She's lucky the glasses fell out, because that would hurt a lot more. Seeing her skid across the wax floor of the hallway, like a baseball player sliding home, catches me a bit by surprise. After an extreme fall like that, she might not be up to talking.
Are you alright?
Face first. That really hurt.
You know, it's funny that a lot of people I've seen that have played this game always notice the Crocs like right away.
Oh, someone saw me. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It's nothing. I'm fine. I'll leave. Quietly, calmly, and right away. And with that, I'm gone.
You know, is that the same voice actress as Futaba? The girl babbles on and on before she zooms off at full speed, like a clumsy tornado. What was that all about? She took quite a fall. Did she hurt herself? Actually, I guess I've been off the phone with Yosuke for quite a while now. If I make the others wait any longer, Rise will probably get impatient and get Naoto up and practicing again. If that happened, Naoto would definitely hold a grudge against me. It'd probably be best if I hurried back to the studio. Having reached a conclusion, I quickly head back with coffee in hand to where Rise and Naoto are waiting. Extremely plain.
Hey, there you are, Senpai.
Welcome back.
Here it is, the pre-LMB report. Wow, somebody's already uploaded the vid.
When I get back, I find Rise and Naoto in conversation while looking at their cell phones. Rise beckons me over, and I sidle behind them. Is that how you say that word? Sidle? Maybe it's sidle. Looks like they were looking at websites affiliated with LMB Vest. I look at the phone screen as well and see a reporter with the 4 members of Kanamine Kitchen we met this afternoon.
Sure enough, it's the girls we met earlier.
We're live with the members of Kanamine Kitchen. Any comments for your fans?
Yes. Well then, I'm Tomoe Sayama, your soft lamb. I may be a bit gamey, but one bite and you'll be hooked. Come to Love Meets Bonds, and I'll see to it you have the time of your life.
Hiya! I'm Tamami Uesugi, your fluffy hen, and delicious to the bone. I'm always number 1, and so's my soup stock.
This all sounds like sexual innuendo.
I'm in this thing, so you better come see me. If you don't, I'll never speak to you again. I'm Sumomo Ujima, everyone's piglet. I'm a pudgy ball of fun who rolls around all day, every day. Yay! Come play, everyone. If you don't spend time with me, I'm gonna cry.
I am Nozomi Nakahara, your noble stag. As powerful as I am beautiful, my gallantry will sweep you off your feet. I look forward to an amazing night spent together. This Love Meets Bonds festival will be a special day for ourselves and you.
I mean, I know they have like their theme because they're Kanamine Kitchen, so they all have to do with foods, I guess. I haven't played this game in like 5 years. This is the PS4 version. I played it initially on the Vita. So I see it's an interview with the members of Kanamine Kitchen since they're performing at LMB. In any case, that had quite an impact. Should we think of a greeting like this too? My gaze drifts while I'm lost in thought, and Naoto murders, sounding a bit overwhelmed.
Those are some unusual taglines. A lamb, hen, piglet, and stag? I suppose it's unique, but...
Well, their whole shtick as an idol group is that they're all edible meats.
Edible meats? They're up for consumption?
Yeah, there's so many idols nowadays, you won't survive if you don't stand out from the crowd. Though that's not the only thing they have going for them. The battle between the corrupt, impossibly demanding producer and the poor, hard-working idols. That's another angle they're taking that's got them a lot of their current popularity.
A corrupt producer? Is that a common problem in the world of showbiz?
Oh no, it's not actually like that. That's just another strategy to get them over with the public. Then again, knowing her, I have to wonder if there isn't some truth to it.
Is that so?
It's the same one who's the overall producer of LMB. It just goes to show that it takes all kinds in this business.
From Rise's description, it sounds like there are a lot of strategies like this in the showbiz world. Interesting. The reporter on screen moves towards an even more flamboyant girl standing behind the other 4 members.
Well then, let's finish up with a word to the fans from Kanami-san.
Why is her static image like such a happy, open-mouthed smile? Like, it seems a little weird to me.
Oh, of course. Is Around Here okay?
I've seen her on TV before.
That's Kanami Mashita. She's the lead member of Kanamine Kitchen.
I don't know. I mean, they said that they're, animal meats. So, weird.
While I was on break, they started calling her the next Rosette.
If you actually play Persona 4 Golden, they actually talk about her by name, but she's never shown.
It's frustrating, but she's definitely hot right now. Even with my comeback, I keep wondering if I can come out on top anymore.
Actually, if you played the original Persona 4, she's mentioned too.
Wait a sec. Okay, she's definitely had a boob job. Hello, I'm Kanami Mashita, your prize cow. My meat is marbled, my movement is slow, and I sleep off every meal.
What?
Everyone, join me in wishing that the weather will be bright and sunny on the day of the festival.
I mean, I remember like the overall story, but some of these like little details, it's just what?
It's been hot lately, and we all get sweaty in the sun, so make sure you bathe and brush your teeth while you're at it.
Thank you, Kanamine. And I take it you all have some closing remarks?
Of course. Well then, everyone, on the day of LMB, our meat will be extra delicious. So, enjoy every last bite.
That's all. all for our pre-Love Meets Bonds Festival report.
I wonder if it's like itadakimasu in Japanese.
Konami-san wasn't with the group when we saw them this afternoon.
Inoue-san mentioned she was doing PR for her solo photo book.
To be honest, Konami sells much more than the other four. I mean, the group's named after her.
I've been feeling this way since filming the TV commercial, but all those appearing on stage for this event will be industry professionals, no? Maybe amateurs like us shouldn't participate in this after all.
There you go with that again. Don't worry about it. When it comes to outsized personalities, we're a match for Konami's group.
I'm not so sure that's something to be proud of.
Me neither.
I said you'll be fine. Anyway, it's getting late. Why don't we get in one last run-through before calling it a night?
It's that late already? Yosuke-senpai and the others will be here tomorrow. We'll want to be as ready as we can for the joint rehearsal. Well, that being said, I'm utterly spent. Please, let me sit out on this one.
What? Seriously? Okay, then go ahead and kick back, Naoto-kun. You've still got some juice left, though, right, Yu-senpai?
Sure, I can keep going.
That's what I'm talking about. Give this last one everything you got. All right, Yu-senpai. Let me know when you're ready to start.
I don't think this is an actual song, by the way, either. I think it's just some tutorial stuff.
Okay, here we go.
I find it hard to play on the big screen TV than on
Hello,
the video
everyone!
screen.
Professor Teddy here! While Sensei and the others are learning their steps, we ought to try some dancing too! Let's start with the basics. Press the buttons to match your timing with the flying notes. You get the idea? All right, your turn now. Feel the rhythm and press those buttons. Yeah, that's how you do it. Okay, time for lesson 2. Sometimes you'll see rings that look like this. Those are scratches. For these, you just flick the left or right analog stick. Even if you mess these ones up, it doesn't count as a mistake, so don't stress out over them.
Or L1
When
and
the
R1.
ring overlaps with the outer circle, just move the stick in any direction. Wait a sec, that last one looked kind of funky, right? This is called a fever ring. They're pretty much like scratches. But if you get enough of them right, your dance is gonna go into fever time. All kinds of good stuff happens in fever time, so get it whenever you can. Now, last up is how to clear the stage and win. This hype gauge here tells you how much the audience is enjoying the show. Depending on how good your dancing is, it'll change, like this. If the audience's excitement gets too low, then that's it. Show's over. And even if you dance to the end, you'll only win if the audience had a good time. Psst, one more thing. If you get fever time when the audience is hyped up, something very good might happen. Alrighty, now let's bring it home. Bust a move! Yeah, you got the hang of it, and that's it for tonight's lesson. Till next time, everybody!
You've actually already seen him. You just only seen his human form. I let the adrenaline from the dance fade and take a deep breath to calm my pulse. Today's practice tired me out, but it looks like I managed to dance through it. I don't want to sound pretentious or anything, but I think I've been moving a lot more smoothly lately. In the beginning, all I could hope for was to just get through the steps. Kind of strange that I'm getting used to this, when it used to be such an ordeal.
Good job! We haven't been practicing long, and you've improved so much already!
Oh, that was amazing to watch, Senpai. I must improve my own performance to match.
At Risa and Naoto's praise, I smile in return, then take a moment to towel off. That's why I hear a slow clapping from the room's entrance. We all glance over.
Huh? Miss Ochimizu?
At Rise's words, my attention goes to the woman leisurely striding towards us. From her elegant, formal appearance, I get a sense of pride, dignity, and unmistakable authority. that demeanor, could she be the overall producer of LMP Fest that Rise mentioned?
Indeed. It was most impressive. I even left my meeting early to see for myself how things were going.
Do you need something? We're in the middle of rehearsal.
I wouldn't have come if I had no business here. How low Takara Productions has fallen. I only permitted this farce because Inoue begged me. Rise Kujikawa, don't tell me that you intend to put these children on a stage. They're barely at the level of a school performance.
I think I explained before, but we have the organizer's approval for my friends to come on stage with me. My fans are cheering for us, and my agency made the call that this will be a good way to push my name.
Yes, I'm sure your fans would say that. Though I'm curious to know what the fans of the other idols, who have no interest in Rise Kujikawa, would think of it.
That's...
My apologies. I retract the question. It's useless asking you anyway, as you're nothing but a pretty face.
Nothing but... That's just rude!
What good can come of complaining to a plastic dress-up doll? Your puppet masters are the ones who should know their place. That would be Inoue, or in fact, Takara Productions as a whole.
What?
Outrage flashes across Rise's face, and the room is suddenly tense. This could get ugly. This producer, Ochimizu, some of what she's saying is correct, but it isn't something we'll take lying down. It's not just Rise. Even though we can keep a better handle on our emotions, Naoto and I are feeling that same anger. Before Rise has the chance for an outburst, I step forward and make calm eye contact with Miss Ochimizu.
Senpai!
We'll get it done. All of us. I hope you'll see.
Oh, I will. You can count on that. I don't intend to compromise on quality, even if I must work with amateurs. No event that I produce will feature any perfunctory performances. Practice until you drop. Feel free to make a fool of yourself in here, but no mistakes will be tolerated on stage.
Miss Ichimuzu makes her brief speech in the same curt tone, unfazed by my gaze, and then turns on her heel, heading for the door. No wonder she's risen so high in the world of show business. Though a part of me is impressed, I squash that feeling and continue staring at her as she walks away.
Then again, it could be that your moment in the spotlight will be removed entirely. Rise Kujikawa, depending on what happens, I may have you pair up with Konami at LMB. The new set list will be released tomorrow. Once it's settled which way we'll go, I'll contact Inoue about our decision.
Huh? Wait, I don't understand what you're talking about!
You don't need to understand. Just do what you're told. I've already discussed this with Takara Productions. If we go that direction, then your friend's presence won't be required.
Excuse me, but our friends will be here tomorrow, and they're traveling quite a distance just to perform at this festival.
My sincerest apologies for that. We'll have seats reserved so that they may enjoy the concert.
Miss Ochimizu abruptly exits, leaving us in shock. What's going on here? I'm struggling to grasp what just happened. We won't be performing? Naoto must be thinking the same thing. When I meet her eyes, she looks as bewildered as I am.
What was that about? I'm gonna go have a talk with Inoue-san about this.
Rise-san! She's gone. What's going on here?
All we can do is wait and see for now. Once Rise gets back, let's ask her if she learned anything.
Yes, you're right. I just hope she doesn't do anything reckless. Rise-san?
It isn't Rise at the door, but a strangely familiar girl. Where have I seen her before? Right, she's the girl I saw earlier in the hallway. The one who had quite a nasty faceplant.
Excuse me, is Ms. Ochimizu,
Ochimizu? Oh, you mean the producer. She left a moment ago.
Seeing Naoto look to me for confirmation, I nod to the girl before us in assurance. More importantly, I had forgotten to ask earlier, but I hope she didn't hurt herself too badly when she tripped.
Oh, okay. Oh man, what am I gonna do?
Excuse me, but you are?
Senpai, you're not gonna... doing here?
Whoa! It's Rise-senpai! Way too long time no see!
After Rise bursts through the door, the girl greets her cheerfully, as if they know each other. This place is a showbiz office, so it's only natural that Rise's acquaintances would be here. However, we're caught a bit off guard. And I think Rise caught this girl Kanami just a moment ago. Wait, is she really?
Sorry, Rise, but can you explain to us what's going on here?
Oh, right. Let me introduce you guys. This is Kanami Mashita, lead member of Kanami Kitchen.
Kanami-san? Wait, the same one who was in that video?
Surprised? Kanami's like this whenever she's not on camera. She's all reserved and boring looking. It's a lot different than her image when she's on the job.
And that's simply how it works? But she seems like a completely different person.
Surprised?
I get that a lot.
She really does seem completely different. It's hard to believe that this Kanami-san is the same as the Kanami-san in that video. Still, now is not the time for that. We need to hear what Rise's come back to tell us. I sort out my thoughts and take a deep breath before looking to Rise.
That aside, Rise, what were you about to say before?
Oh, right. I couldn't find Inoue-san, but I overheard something weird.
Weird, you say?
Yeah. Have you heard anything, Kanami? About Nozomi and the others disappearing?
Disappeared? The Kanami Kitchen girls?
Yeah. Looks like they can't get a hold of them at all, and everyone's running around looking for them. I bet that's why Miss Ochimizu said those things earlier.
Rise's revelation is enough to shock us all into brief silence. They can't get in contact with the members of Kanami Kitchen? We just met them this afternoon. I see, that must have been the reason Inoue-san asked me earlier if I had seen them. And then there's Miss Ochimizu. This would explain why she suddenly ordered Rise to pair with Kanami-san, and why she told us that we may not be performing. At that moment, everything connects. Next to me, Naoto rests her hand against her chin thoughtfully, as if making deductions.
I see. If they remain missing until the day of the festival, there'll be an opening in the lineup. Miss Ochimizu, worried about this possibility, mentioned her suggestion about Rise-san and Kanami-san performing as a pair.
But we just saw those girls this afternoon. Would the producer go to those links just because she lost contact with the group for a few hours?
Probably. This is Miss Ochimizu we're talking about. I know about that discussion already. Ms. Ochimizu told me it'll work out as long as you're around. Still, I can't help but worry about them. That's why I was looking for Ms. Ochimizu.
It'll work out. But they're the rest of your own group. And not only that, they're well-known celebrities. What if they've gotten swept up in something serious?
I don't know. But she said she'll keep a lid on this until the festival's over.
What? Is that what she thinks of us? Idols aren't toys that can be replaced.
If this truly is a case of them going missing, there are a number of measures we can take. First, let's speak with the event organizers and have them file a missing persons report with the police. After that...
Hold on a moment.
Rise and Naoto look at me in surprise at my suddenly halting the conversation. Please don't give me that look. Rise's anger and Naoto's precautions are both justified. I've learned these past few months that the showbiz world can be pretty cold, but this is something different. As far as we can tell, 4 girls have gone missing. This sounds like a case. However, we need more information. I looked to Kanami-san and asked the question on my mind.
Kanami-san, when did they lose contact with the rest of the group?
Huh? Not too long ago, I think. I only heard about it from Ms. Ochimizu a moment ago.
Like I said, we met them just this afternoon. Even if we went to the police with this, I doubt they'd pay us any mind. Plus, if this doesn't turn out to be anything serious, wouldn't it put the girls in a bad position?
Oh, yeah, that's true. You're right. I gave Inoue-san a real scare a while back myself, but even then he waited quite a while before going to the police. If he had reported me missing at the time, it could have snowballed into a much bigger problem.
Oh, same here. One time I slept through a day off I finally got, and even through the day after that. My agency apologized to our partners and said I'd been laid up with a cold. All that oversleeping gave me such a headache.
That's not as serious as the situation here, but you, Senpai, may have a point. Well then, why don't we do this? If no one has heard from the rest of the group by tomorrow, we'll go ask the organizers to take the necessary steps. And if they refuse to make a move, then we'll take things into our own hands and notify the police directly.
That sounds reasonable. Yosuke and the others will be here tomorrow too, along with Dojima-san.
I have a lot of reasons for holding off on doing anything drastic until tomorrow, but this is the main reason. Ryotaro Dojima, my uncle from Inaba, will be coming here tomorrow along with his daughter Nanako. He might be on vacation, but my uncle is a working police detective. For a case like this, I'm sure he'd be the best person to go for advice.
So, even if the police are out of the question, Dojima-san might hear us out. Good call, Senpai. You're so smart.
Rise clasps her hands in front of her chest, a bit melodramatically, while Naoto nods as if to hide her satisfied smile. What a nostalgic feeling. I can easily tell what they're feeling by their reactions. That's when I noticed, in the corner of my eye, Kanami-san is staring, dumbfounded, unable to join in on our conversation.
Whoa, you all get along so well. That's so neat.
That is pretty much Rise and you. If you play earlier games.
We've been through a lot together, that's all. Like, we all became close friends before we knew it.
Have you ever played Persona 4, Aaron? It's on a PC now, through Steam. It's actually on sale right now, if I remember right. And then you actually get additional discount if you buy it from Newegg through a code. The anime cuts out a lot. But it is mostly faithful.
Close friends.
Come on, Konami. No spacing out now. You're helping out too, okay?
Huh? Wait, really? You'll let me join you?
The Aaron I'm talking about? John Stamos, obviously.
Why wouldn't we? You came looking for Miss Ochimizu because you were worried about the others, no? Wouldn't that make your goal the same as ours?
We won't force you, though. You decide what's best for you, Konami-san.
What's best for me?
Yeah, that's his nickname.
I feel the same as you guys. I'm worried about them.
Totally.
Then you're already one of us. You're part of our circle.
I also tend to call Bob Saget Mitch.
Oh, hooray! I made some friends! Let's meet up again once the others get here tomorrow. Oh, but you have work, right, Konami? Well, if anything comes up, I'll make sure to email you. Oh, right! You know, Konami, you need to stop waiting for other people to speak first. You're an idol. Assert yourself more. People only think shyness is cute for so long.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Such a harsh world they live in.
Alright, it's pretty late, so let's call it a night.
I'm sure Naoto-kun wants to freshen up too, so... Senpai, we're gonna ask you to stay in the room next door for a little while. Let's meet back here in a bit.
I have an early morning tomorrow, so I'll be excusing myself. I just have to sleep in the nap room.
I'm almost certain there's a dance at least before the next morning. Like an actual song.
Gotcha. Let's get to it, everyone.
We nod at Rise's words and each go our separate ways. I need to freshen up and wait for Rise and Naoto to finish changing. So I take my things and head to the room next door we're using. Still, I'm worried. Kanami and Kitchen's members' whereabouts are unknown. What could have happened to them? After getting ready to leave and killing enough time for Rise and Naoto to change, I return to the studio and find the door ajar. I guess they finished getting ready to go. I take a quick glance inside just to be safe and see them standing around their belongings, lost in conversation. Looks like I may have made them wait instead.
But much as I hate to admit it, once she became the producer, Konami immediately started taking off.
Sorry for the wait. Are you both done? Oh, were you talking about Miss Ochimizu?
Oh, Senpai, are you ready to go? Yep, we're talking about her. She's always like that, so even though she's legit, everyone calls her corrupt. They say she's the worst producer ever. She overworks her idols and makes shameless cash grabs from the fans. Some go so far as to call her a demon or a money grubber, including fans of the idols she's produced. When she started with Kanami and Kitchen, she had footage shown on TV of her forcing impossible demands on those girls.
I see. So by showing images of them being abused as they earnestly pursued their dreams, it would only encourage the audience to cheer them on out of sympathy.
Exactly! That's the kind of thing she's good at. But doesn't it seem like cheating? Plus, if it really was all an act, I might respect it. But she's exactly the same when the cameras aren't rolling, so sometimes I seriously wonder if she's not faking it.
Having been on the receiving end, I can see why you'd think so.
Right? She always makes us do insane things without running them by us. I wish she'd think about the people who actually have to do that stuff.
That sounds rough. What has she made you do, Rise?
Wow, you really want to know? Well, let's just say it's stuff I'd rather forget. This thing about me forming a duo with Konami, too. Sure, I understand why now, but how was I supposed to know that? What if Kanamine Kitchen going missing is another one of Miss Ochimizu's promotional tactics?
I hadn't considered that possibility.
Wait, scratch that idea. Even Miss Ochimizu wouldn't go that far, I think.
I see. By the by, there's something I'd like to mention which may have no bearing on this case. I heard an odd rumor regarding the festival.
An odd rumor?
Yes. If you go to the festival website at midnight, it plays an unusual video. The video shows an idol known to be dead dancing in it. Those who watch the video to the end are taken away to the other side and never awaken. Or so the rumor goes.
Whoa, Naoto-kun! Where is this coming from?
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to scare you. Of course, I don't believe this tall tale about some dead idol. Not one bit.
Naoto-kun, you're scared, huh?
Yes, but that isn't important. I didn't bring this up to talk about that.
Rise and I can't help but exchange looks at Naoto's inability to hide her anxiety. Still, she's right. Now's not the time to be worrying about something like that.
Go on, Naoto.
Yes, anyway, there's something that disturbs me about this rumor.
What's that?
Well, doesn't it seem a bit similar to our prior experiences?
When you look at a switched-off TV at midnight on a rainy day, you'll see your soulmate. You're talking about the Midnight Channel.
The Midnight Channel. The cause behind the mystery we were faced with when we were still just ordinary high school students. A world within TVs, the monsters called shadows lurking there, and an enigmatic oh my god. And an enigmatic serial murder case centered in the town of Inaba. All the memories of last year flashed through my mind in an instant. A sudden chill runs down my spine. We await Naoto's next words, our growing unease justified for once.
Of course, it's hard to say how much we can trust these sorts of rumors. On the other hand, this particular rumor has some troubling aspects to it.
Such as?
There have been genuine victims, and their numbers have been rapidly increasing. Though naturally, there's no proven correlation between the victims and the rumor. It's quite possible that the rumor sprung up in reaction to the victims, but it's a fact that a good handful of people are in a comatose state right now.
A coma?
Seriously? I never heard about that. Hey, is something like before happening again?
Is this another case with another world? That's what Rise is probably trying to ask. I was wondering the same thing myself, but Naoto shakes her head in response to Rise's question.
There's no knowing whether this is a case yet or not. I only briefly heard about it the other day during work. I was going to look into it, and if it did turn out to be connected to that case, I thought it might be necessary for me to consult everyone about it.
The LMB website at midnight, huh?
Offhand, I glanced towards the clock, high on the studio wall. 11:58 p.m., almost midnight. How convenient. If I pointed it out, at the very least, the three of us here could check the truth behind the rumor, but... well,
It's almost midnight. Why don't we check it out for ourselves?
I knew you'd say that. In all honesty, I doubt that this rumor has anything to do with the disappearances. But all the same, it may be faster to get to the bottom of this rumor ourselves.
Wait, you want us to look at it right here, right now? Geez, fine. But we're all gonna look at it together. Senpai, you come over here. Naoto-kun, you're over there. And whatever happens, no running away, okay? Let's see. Love meets bonds. Oh, here it is, the official LMB site.
Rise taps her cell phone's touchscreen and the LMB Fest website comes up. Setlist, ticket details, participating artists. Several topics and details have been added, but the website seems mostly unchanged from other times we've checked it.
The site appears to be operating normally.
See? Nothing's coming up. That rumor has to be fake.
I checked the clock on the wall again and see that it's now a minute before midnight. I just hope nothing unusual happens.
Wait, what is this?
Reese's voice pulls me back to the phone screen, and I see something completely new being displayed. Crackling static fills the screen and an eerie light flickers. Countless shadows sway in the visual noise, just barely visible.
They do look like human silhouettes. And they seem to be dancing, don't they? That's all of it.
This has to be just a prank. I'm gonna check with the admins about this. Oh, or it's part of Miss Ochimizu's PR. I bet she spread that weird rumor to get Konami's group to sell more.
That's when I notice it. Just on the edge of hearing. What was that? I concentrate trying to figure out what that sound was. If it's just us here, I can't have heard something that unusual, right?
What's the matter, Senpai? Did you hear something just now?
Yeah, I heard it too.
No way. So it wasn't just me?
A voice?
What is that?
I follow Naoto's gaze and notice an eerie light swaying near the studio ceiling. Like a fog machine or a stage pyrotechnic effect, it's lit up by a strange light. It's as if it's looking down upon us. I can't English right now.
Who are you? How do you know my... Senpai! You, Senpai! Oh, you're up. Thank goodness.
I stare at the sound of Rise calling my name. Where am I? The last thing I remember is a weird light in the Takara production studio. And then...
Rise, Naoto, are you alright?
You missed all the good parts. They were discussing a rumor about a dead idol showing up on the LMB website at midnight, and so they watch it, and then they see the video, and then they got pretty much grabbed and thrown into a different world.
We're okay. You're the one we're worried about. We couldn't wake you up at all.
Yes, I'm glad to see you conscious as well. Though, our situation still isn't very good.
It's so dark here, I can't see anything. Where are we?
My guess is we're in the other world that those who see the video are taken to. It seems the rumor was true. It's that voice!
Welcome, Rise Fujikawa, to our midnight stage.
Midnight stage?
That's right. An ideal world where no one hurts or gets hurt. I only intended to invite Rise-san here. But oh well, I prepared a stage for you all. Here, take a look.
Oh, I know Corpse Party. Corpse Party. I haven't played it. I own it though. Suddenly a dim light turns on and we realize where we are. Speaking of, it's not really the same, but have you played the Zero Escape games? Like 999 and Virtue's Last Reward and Zero Time Dilemma? Well, perhaps it's not exactly where we are, but what kind of place this is. We appear to be standing on a stage, a fairly gaudily decorated one, like for a concert. The stage itself isn't lit, but it's overly decorated and exaggerated in every way possible. Simply put, its design screams out Rise's back in showbiz. What in the world is this?
Just who the heck are you?
I wouldn't call them super similar, but I would say that you might like them if you like Corpse Party. Have you played the Danganronpa series?
Not only did you drag us here, you put this thing together. What are you trying to accomplish?
Never mind that. I just want to connect with all of you. Look, see how many have been waiting for your comeback.
What?
Are these shadows?
Come now, won't you sing? Dance for them. It'll make everyone happy.
This music's so nostalgic. The shadows that fill the seats give an eerie cheer and sway their bodies as if to commend us. What are these shadows? They've been waiting for for Rise's performance. On closer inspection, the shadows' bodies are all connected from their necks, hands, and legs with strange ribbons, writhing as if alive themselves. This isn't good. If a battle breaks out, it won't be easy breaking through their numbers with just the three of us.
I've had enough of this! You kidnap us to who knows where, and now you want us to dance for these shadows? To hell with that! Send us back home, now!
The shadows.
Yeah, like I was saying, Aaron, like the intro of the game, you wouldn't expect there to be much of a story, but like the intro of the game starts with a little girl who was following her idol, or another idol, into a room before she hangs herself. This is how the Persona games are. It's like half bright and half like, what the hell? All of a sudden the shadows stop moving, and a silent stillness falls upon the area. At the same time, the music, more like an eerie song I've been hearing ever since entering this world, begins increasing in volume, as if encroaching from far beyond.
Send you back? No, you're all going to dance. That's what everyone's here for, after all.
After the mysterious voice's loud reply, the shadows begin moving their limbs in time to the song, as if they're dancing. Suddenly we're hit with an overwhelming weakness. We have to fight just to remain standing.
What is this? I feel weak.
Isn't it wonderful? This song is my gift to everyone. Don't you feel it? How they all desire to connect with you?
So that song and the shadows dance is what's affecting us.
You, Senpai!
Right.
I instinctively sense Naoto's intent, and we react at the same time. It's as if Naoto's quick draw and my call to the persona in my heart were completely simultaneous.
Ready?
Persona!
Those sound effects are so nostalgic.
My bullet disappeared. And Senpai's persona too? Is this your doing?
Don't accuse me of something I didn't do.
Of all those, the only one I know is actually Corpse Party.
told you earlier, no one gets hurt here.
Unbelievable. Both my persona and Naoto's bullet disappeared like smoke before they even reached the shadows. Just like the mysterious voice says, it looks like anything violent at all gets somehow negated in this world.
What do you want from us?
Nothing really. We're just asking you to accept us. Come on, let's connect with these eternal bonds. Won't you be good children? It's all right. Don't be frightened. Let's dance together. Won't you join us, Reisei Kujikawa?
My mind. Careful. This is bad.
No, I can't.
Rise-san!
I can't lose.
What the? I can move again? But how?
Could it be? We need to move. The shadows are being affected by our music and movement. It's just as I thought. That eerie song we're hearing is forcing the shadows to dance. If we can interrupt that song and the shadows dance, we might get through this.
But how?
I don't know. But one idea comes to mind. If we can force them into a different song and dance like before, then maybe...
What a chatty child!
No!
Naoto-kun!
You're connected with us. Now you can become the you everyone wants you to be.
Senpai! Rise-san, please! Stop their dance.
Naoto!
We just have to get those shadows moving to our music, right?
Rise?
Senpai, if that stuff Naoto-kun was saying is true, then there is something we can do to help her. Right now.
Huh?
I'll try and use my persona. Maybe I can deliver our music to those shadows at full blast. The way they reacted to my music earlier, I think I might be able to affect them a little bit. But I don't think that'll be enough. That's why I need your help too, Senpai. If music and movement affects them, then we should be able to pull them into our rhythm, right? Don't worry. Just show off your cool dance. I know you can do it, Senpai.
I love this song. Time to make history. He's the main character
Let's get
of
started now.
all the Persona 4 games.
I can do this. How's that?
It's a war of that every day. You can't hide from me.
Yeah.
You gotta pray for the rules, pretty cool. Gotta laugh in the face.
How's that?
So this out is free. When your friends and boss become like on the face
Yeah.
of it. They miss the history. But they fight all the place in it.
Alright.
Yeah, they fight all the place.
How's that?
Had it bad times.
Yeah.
Just how the life goes by. I know it's not your going to
How's
say.
that?
But there ain't no other way.
If I can just keep this up.
You're doing great. I can feel what's in your heart.
Alright. Alright. Yeah. 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 How's that? All right. Yeah. All right.
Crap. Broke my combo.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
It's working. The shadows are going for it. All right. All right. How's that? How's that? All right. All right. Persona is the power of the heart. Depending on your heart's true nature, it changes form. Not just for hurting, not just for fighting. How's that? Right now, I know I can show you how I really feel. Yeah, we will never stop changing. Answer my call. Izanagi!
I got two goods. Ah, I suck. Yeah, you get you get used to them doing that, and it gets a little more like less awkward because you'll hear more people later on instead of just him the whole time. Why is it set to easy? Pretty sure I said it's a standard. I steady my ragged breath, and stand locked in place as the adrenaline dies down. I see, I only realized it after dancing in front of an audience for the first time, but dancing really is expression. Seems like conveying what's in your heart is easier in this world compared to ours. At first, the shadows were just pushing that eerie song at me, but I could feel their hearts being drawn to our music and dancing. That eerie voice in the shadows must have been using that system to their advantage to try and control us. Instead, we used that against them. In other words, we won them over. Still.
Good job, Senpai! That was a fantastic performance. Actually, what was that persona just now? There was something different about it.
I'm not sure. But when I thought I wanted to convey my feelings to those shadows, my persona responded from within me.
Way to go, Senpai! And that's why you're our leader. Only you can pull off something that amazing.
Come on.
It's true. Ever since I felt myself conveying my heart to the shadows, I had a kind of newfound determination. I had nothing concrete backing it up, but I still felt it clearly. In truth, my persona was responding to my desire to express my feelings, and took on a new form. We can still continue to change. Ever since the case ended and we got back to our normal day-to-day, I'd felt so uncertain, wondering how I could move forward, but just then my persona erased any doubts I had.
Naoto-kun, we did it! Senpai gave him a super sweet show.
I sensed it as well. That's what allowed me to return to my right mind.
You sensed it? But you got caught by that ribbony thing and...
Yes. Because of that, I learned something about those shadows.
Really? What did you find out?
When caught in that ribbon, it's as if you're forced to be the you that others desire, rather than how you perceive yourself. You're made to believe you want to be tied to the other shadows with that ribbon, even if it means discarding who you truly are. The most dreadful thing is that I myself felt sure that it was what I needed to do.
Just as I thought, with Naoto's theory and my intuition, it seems clear that the song and the shadows dancing are meant to bind us to their will. As I speculate, Rise seems somehow unhappy with Naoto's words. She pouts, indignant.
That's crazy! You're no one else but you, Naoto-kun.
Well, in hindsight, I can see how bizarre the assumption was. So my theory is that the ribbon has the power to induce those beliefs.
Yeah, I sensed it too. While I was dancing, I felt like I couldn't let my guard down at all, that the shadows would take me if I did. That song and the Shadows dance probably have a similar power. So what I did was concentrate on getting my message across as I danced.
You said something like that earlier, too. What did you want to tell them?
I just did what you said, Rise. Dancing is about expressing yourself and your feelings to the people watching you, right? So I danced to show the Shadows who I am, not what they wanted to see.
Huh. And as a result, I remembered who I am. It's ironic that the key to this confrontation was the true self I once tried so hard to deny. One shouldn't abandon oneself just because they've been connected to others. I feel that those shadows were released from the ribbon's binding because they sensed that as well. Rise-san, you didn't get that sense from watching him dance?
Of course I did. I could tell his dancing was different from usual. I just couldn't put it into words because of all that persona stuff that happened.
Yeah, I'm sure you got the message loud and clear, Rise.
Suddenly, the cheering shadows enveloped in the glow shine even brighter and begin dissolving as if melting into light. It's a beautiful sight. Despite the situation we're stuck in, we can't help but marvel.
Wow! It's beautiful!
NDC.
The shadow's presence is fading. What's going on? It's like they're returning somewhere.
Returning? To where?
I don't know. But that's the feeling I get. With that weird ribbony thing gone, it seems they all disappeared from this world. Maybe they realized something wasn't right, like you did, Naoto-kun.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Still, what could those shadows have been? They didn't seem quite like the shadows we knew.
Naoto has a point. We're out of danger for now, but the situation's left us with countless questions and barely any answers. First, we need to find some way to escape from here.
You don't like this stage, after all the trouble I went through to prepare it?
You again! I've had enough of this! Is your idea of eternal bonds tying up the shadows with that thing? You've got one twisted mind!
That's right. If this is the connection you speak of, then it's much too one-sided.
What's so funny?
It's okay. If that's what you think, then I certainly won't force you to stay here. But don't get so cocky just because you set those back. Our bonds are eternal. There are countless others to forge them with.
Hugh, are you gonna bring someone else in here?
Sorry, but you've already stepped off the stage. The next performances will be beginning soon, featuring Tamami and the others.
Tamami? You don't mean...
At that instant, everything clicks. But that would be the worst case scenario. I only hope my conclusion is wrong. I force myself to speak up, speaking with as much dread as determination.
The members of Kaname Kitchen. Did you kidnap them?
I get the feeling that would have been the same either way.
Why do you care? It has nothing to do with you.
I'll try scanning the area. Come, Persona! There are some places where shadows are bunched up. 1, 2, 4 total? I found someone! Is this... Tomoe?
No playing around in the venue. It's off limits to unauthorized personnel.
Rise hastily dismisses her persona and braces herself. Oh, excuse me. But creeping ribbons are already slithering up our legs. We completely let our guard down. Bound in ribbons, my arm puts up no resistance as a tremendous force drags at my body.
Ah! No!
Goodbye, Rise Kujikawa.
Is this?
It only takes a moment to realize that the three of us are back in the same Takara production studio we were in before we got sent to that world. Rise and Naoto seem to have made ungraceful landings, but they're alright for the most part.
Ow! Jeez! Is this how you treat an idol?
Looks like we're back in the studio. So as soon as we reject the bond that voice spoke of, we're promptly asked to leave.
At least we're all back safe.
Uh-huh. I was honestly bracing myself for the worst. But wait! That reading I got a second ago! It was definitely Tomoe's. I'm certain that's who I picked up on.
The same Tomoe-san we met earlier?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
That's right, Rise had picked up on some presents right before we were forced out. If it really was Tomoe-san, then she must still be trapped in there, even as we speak. If that's the case, there's something else I need to confirm immediately.
What about the other girls? Kanamin Kitchen is Konami-san and 4 other members, right?
I don't know. That place was a lot bigger than I thought. The only reading I picked up on in the moment I had was Tomoe's.
Given what we heard from Konami-san, it's safe to assume the rest of Kanamin Kitchen disappeared around the same time. If you detected Tomoe-san's reading over there, the others are likely to have been taken as well.
Yeah, Naoto's right.
The rumored video clip that plays at midnight, victims who have fallen unconscious, and now a group of missing idols. This does seem to demand an investigation.
First things first, though. What was that world we were in? The name Midnight Stage bothers me.
There were shadows there too. It seemed kind of like the TV world we used to go into.
And then there's that voice. It has to belong to the root of this trouble.
You don't really think it's that, deceased idol behind this, do you?
That's beyond my knowledge. Let's put that possibility aside for now.
Yeah, that's not what we need to focus on right now.
The video that plays at midnight, a world apart from reality, shadows that lurk there, our personas and the missing victims. Even at this stage, it's clear enough that this is beyond what normal people can handle. We need to sort through the situation and come up with some plan to rescue Tomoe-san and the others.
Either way, I can't leave them in that awful place. Please, you senpai, Naoto-kun, could you help me out? I want to save them.
Of course. Count me in.
I'm a bit shocked, in fact. Did you think we'd shrug it off as none of our concern? There are already victims, making this an honest-to-goodness case. And we're the only ones who can solve it.
That's right. Rise was probably serious when she asked us to do this, but the truth is, we're taken aback that she had to ask. This isn't about just anyone. Our friends' friends are in trouble. She's trying to save them. So of course there's no reason we wouldn't lend a hand.
Yeah.
Now that that's decided, we need a plan. Yosuke and the others will be here in the morning. I'm sure they'll help us out too.
And let's go over the case once they join us. For now, though, I think we should leave. We need our rest after all.
Right. Things are gonna get busy, so we should rest while we can.
Got it. I'll go ahead and email everyone about the situation. Oh, we shouldn't drag Konami into this, huh? I feel bad, but I won't tell her anything.
Yeah, I agree. It's for her own safety.
Okay, so I'll just contact our gang. Well then, you two ready to go home?
Yeah.
Very much so.
Four members of Kanamin Kitchen missing and a mysterious other world. We might be used to this by now, but I doubt it'll be easy. Looks like we'll have a lot to talk about when Yosuke and the others arrive. I follow Rise and Naoto and head towards the studio exit.
That is how their festival began. What do you think? Fate is truly full of surprises, no? They faced themselves and gained the power to stand up against difficulties. But their next trial was quite different. Rather than a contest of strength, it required them to openly express themselves and convey their feelings.
The woman smiles joyously before looking towards you again.
However, this did not deter him, and as if in response to that firmness of will, his power changed its form, adapting perfectly to the new situation. Fascinating, don't you think? By the way, have you thought about why you have found yourself here? Don't worry yourself over it. I don't have that answer for you. I asked only out of my own curiosity. Well then, allow me to show you a little more of the story.
When the woman raises her hand, that same light radiates from it, swallowing the surrounding scenery.
Here is where we left off with their festival.
The next day, Rise calls Naoto and me up. We might as well practice until the others arrive. Just as we're finishing up, I get word from Yosuke saying they're here. We head down to Takuro Productions lobby to greet everyone as they come over from the train station. It's not long before we see their smiling faces again.
Woohoo! Hi, Spot Sensei! Your friendly bear is back in town!
That makes no sense when you're not in the costume, man.
Oh, man. It's so nice and cool inside the office. I feel like a human being again.
Yosuke seems overwhelmed by the unexpected heat wave and takes exaggerated deep breaths while tugging on his collar. Haha, same old Yosuke. Even though they must have gotten Rise's message about what happened, none of them seem too phased. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're taking this situation lightly. It's more that they've already made up their minds what to do.
I'm glad you're all here.
Hey, have you met any celebrities yet? Are they cute? Tell me everything!
I wonder if I should take back what I said before. Yosuke's not shrugging this off, is he? Kanji or Teddy is one thing, but seeing him like this is making me worry a little.
There's always someone like him. Come on, Yosuke-senpai. You were just here the other day to film the commercial.
Yeah, but I was too nervous then to think about any of that stuff. Oh, the time has finally come! I'm in a big city, and not some dreary country town. And I get to hang out with celebrities! It's like a dream come true.
Well, excuse us for living in such a dreary place.
Is that what you think of Inaba, Yosuke-kun?
Did you forget that I'm a celebrity too? And a pretty famous one at that?
Yosuke-senpai's been like this the whole trip over here. He's memorized every damn thing about that Kanamine chicken or whatever. He kept blabbering on and on about the girls non-stop. Even knows their full names.
Dude, what? You're bringing that up now?
Looks like the whole world's against him. I don't have any way to back him up either. All I can do is keep quiet about making a mental apology to Yosuke. A volley of cold stares and frigid words, enough to blast away the sudden heat wave, are launched at my partner.
You're the worst.
Seriously, the worst.
Just completely terrible.
Yosuke, you're awful.
I just got here and I'm already catching hell. And Teddy, what are you taking their side for?
Looks like the dream is dead.
Mostly thanks to you. Anyway, that aside, I had a message for you. Dojima-san and Nanako-chan are gonna be running a little late. Sounded like he's been busy with work.
That's too bad.
But then again, maybe it was actually a blessing in disguise that Dojima-san and Nanako are arriving later. Since we know now that strange things are happening, I can share what we've found out without any pointed questions from Dojima-san. I must have looked pretty grim, since Yosuke pats me on the shoulder and flashes me an encouraging smile.
Come on, cheer up, partner. Just have a little patience, and Nanako-chan will be here in no time.
Man, that was one hell of a long trip. I've been sitting down so long my butt's sore.
We really should have taken the express train, but Yosuke had to insist we ride a bus instead.
Dude, you guys are the ones who said you were low on cash. There's no way I could have paid for all your tickets.
I have to say, you three aren't looking very well. Are you okay? Did you sleep badly?
The three of us can't help but exchange glances at Yukiko's question. I was planning on getting a good night's rest, but I kept thinking about the case and ended up getting almost no sleep. Seeing the way Naoto and Rise react, it must have been the same for them.
A lot happened last night after all.
You mean that midnight stage stuff? I got most of the story from Rise's email, though it was so out of nowhere that I had to ask a ton of follow-up questions.
I read it too. Those girls are being held captive, right, Rise-chan?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys came all the way out here and I have to ruin it with bad news.
Hey, no need to apologize, Rise-chan. Never fear. All the dance practice I've gotten in lately has been a good workout for me. And I've never missed a day of regular training either. What the? I'm ready for anything.
count me in too. Look, look, behold the results of my training with Risei-chan. 1, 2, bam!
Teddy puts his palms together and keeps his face at a fixed angle while craning his neck around. That kind of thing is called isolation in dance terms, but I don't remember Risei ever teaching Teddy any such moves. Where did he learn that?
That has nothing to do with fighting shadows.
You never know. I mean, it's gonna be our dancing that beats him this time around, right?
Oh, right, yeah. Man, why dancing of all things?
We're not sure how that really works.
In fact, there are many things that we don't understand as of yet. All we know is that our power won't defeat these shadows. Instead, we've discovered that we can free them by affecting them with our dance.
They're trying to capture us with their dancing too, right? Then it sounds to me like we ought to fight fire with fire.
Mm-hmm. Expressing ourselves through dance. It sounds exciting.
You guys, this isn't all fun and games.
What a relief. Though everyone is chatting like normal, I can tell that they're already thinking about how to solve this case. As long as they're with us, I'm positive we can get to the bottom of any mystery.
Thanks, everyone. It's time the investigation team got back in action.
I can't remember how many times that's happened by now.
Well, call it fate or whatever. But if you ask me, that's just how we are.
If we can save people, I'm all for it. I think it's definitely better than doing nothing.
My magnificent moves will save all the innocent idols. And one of them will fall madly in love with me, despite it being forbidden in the world of showbiz.
Like that'd happen. Man, I really can't take you anywhere. Wait a sec. What if Teddy's got a point? What if he's not entirely wrong this time? Is there even the slimmest of slim chances that it could happen for me?
Never, as long as you're thinking like that.
Ah, you're all here. I hope your long trip was a smooth one.
Oh, hey, Inoue-san.
I turn to see the voice coming from behind us and find Inoue-san coming towards us with his usual smile. He must have been passing by when he noticed us. He seems a little more tired today, though. Is it because the Kaname kitchen girls are missing?
I hope I wasn't interrupting anything.
Isn't this our chance? Want to try and get some information out of him?
Huh? Wow, you're all in costume. Yeah, the show's still a ways off, but you seem so fired up already.
Well, we were thinking we should do a full group dress rehearsal, but we didn't know if there was any place to change, so we just wore our costumes.
I see. But you know, there are plenty of changing rooms available here. Goodness, Kanji-kun, your hair certainly stands out. It really packs a punch.
Huh? You think so? Guess I'm used to it. I mean, I had it like this for the longest time. Oh, but this festival's the last time I'm gonna wear this punk getup, though. I made up my mind to stop acting like a badass and be more like who I really am.
Ah, I see. That sounds like a fine idea. I must say, those costumes look splendid on all of you. I guess that sort of natural high schooler look can't be faked. People respond well to that sort of thing. The outfits seem to fit well, too. I'm glad we went to the trouble to have them custom tailored.
That's right. The thing Inoue-san was most particular about was how we're genuine high school students. Because of that, we all had to carefully bring back our look from when we used to go to the same school. Everyone got excited and worked with each other to get their hairstyle and things just right to the way it was then. Me too. Even though I go to a different high school now, I'm wearing an outfit that looks like a match to their school uniform. The whole thing gives me an honest sense of nostalgic joy.
Oh, by the way, can I ask you something, Inoue-san?
What is it? I'll try and answer if I can.
Well, it's about the Love Meets Bonds festival. Kaname Kitchen is performing in that too, right?
That's the plan. What about it?
Oh, it's nothing important. I'm a huge fan of theirs, so I was just wondering if I could, say hi to them, that's all.
Ah, I see. Unfortunately, they're all pretty busy right now.
Huh? Really? That's weird. I mean, most of the group is in the mid-
Oh, ignore him. Just carry on.
Chie instantly covers Teddy's mouth and motions for us to keep talking. That was a close one. Teddy, for his part, is still flailing his arms and legs while Chie shushes him. Seeing a question forming in Inoue-san's eyes, we slip between him and Teddy, trying to gloss over Teddy's slip-up with our smiles.
I mean, of course they're busy. I'm sorry I even asked. He'll be fine. Man, what a shame, though.
Oh, but Konami-chan is in the midst of a poster photo shoot in the studio here. Why don't you go see her later? Rise-chan can show you the way. She'll probably sign an autograph.
An autograph? Seriously? I mean, that'd be great. Then I guess we'll go stop by later.
You must be tired from the long trip, though, so get some rest first. Well, I have a meeting to attend, so you'll have to excuse me.
Okay, see you later, Inoue-san.
We see Inoue-san off and give a sigh of relief. Phew, looks like we managed to squeeze some information out of him without raising any suspicion.
Yosuke-senpai, your acting sucks! I was afraid Inoue-san would pick up on it. You too, Teddy. What were you thinking letting that slip?
I'm deeply sorry.
I'm very sorry.
Well, at least it's clear now. Now I was acting, those Konami girls ain't come back yet.
Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. It must have been Tomoe-san herself that Rise-chan picked up on.
There's no doubt. It was brief, but that couldn't have been anyone else. I'm positive that reading was Tomoe's.
It's decided then. Let's all watch that video at midnight tonight, and we'll head into the midnight stage once more. What? Did I say something odd?
No, Do. Every now and then you say some pretty nutso stuff like it's no big deal.
I didn't think too much about how we were going in there, but that sounds pretty scary.
There's no other way. We don't know any other means of getting in. In any case, time is of the essence. Come on, let's hurry to the studio.
Naoto must have been pretty embarrassed. She hurries on ahead, leaving us behind. We all look around before following her. One way or another, we ride into battle at midnight. We'll meet with resistance on the midnight stage. If we spent the time until then working on our dance moves, I think we can learn a lot from each other. With a reinforced resolve to save the missing girls, I slowly follow my trusty friends.
That reminds me, we didn't get too many chances to all rehearse together. There's probably a lot we can learn from each other. So let's get as much practice as time permits.
Yeah.
Get ready to dance.
Yo, yo, yo! Time for me to get your next lesson rolling! First, I'm gonna talk about these things called unison notes. Sometimes these stretchy notes will come flying at you. These are unison notes. You gotta press 2 buttons at the same time. Give it a shot. Press the 2 connected buttons together with the notes.
It's kind of weird without the button press sound effect. And I don't think I turned that off either, so I'm not sure why.
How'd you do? Okay, next up we gotta talk about hold notes. You gotta press and hold these ones. Make sure you let go in time with the rhythm too. Did you figure out the timing? You gotta know when to let go. All right, time for your final exam. Get the audience all hyped up and clear this stage. Nice moves! That's it! This bear has nothing left to teach you! I had tons of fun dancing with all of you! Bye-bye, everyone!
Oh, this non-stop rehearsal's brutal. My legs are killing me.
We've been practicing the routine ever since everyone arrived, and Yosuke finally speaks up in defeat. That's to be expected. Rise is the only one who's managed to keep dancing throughout the rehearsal. Yosuke was the only holdout not taking many breaks.
We are appearing in a professional concert after all. Plus, there's the midnight stage to worry about. We need practice.
Yeah, that stuff about fighting through dance, it sounds pretty hard.
It does, but we have to do it.
Good job, guys. You're all working real hard. I didn't think our routine would come together so well from the get-go. That's why I think I'm gonna give you a reward, Yosuke-senpai.
A reward? Did you have something for me?
You like Kanami's kitchen, right? Well, why don't we go check out Kanami's photo shoot?
Ooh, seriously?
Everyone else wants to go too. Plus, I want to introduce you all to Kanami. Come on, you senpai. Shake a leg or we're gonna leave you two behind.
I'm coming, of course we'll go with you. Let's just hang on a sec.
So that's what that was about. I was wondering what she was talking about with everyone over there. Rise is very good at this sort of thing. You could say she has a knack for making people smile. I've already met Kanami-san, so I honestly just wanted to practice a little more. But if everyone else is going, I might as well tag along. I quickly towel off before heading towards the entrance, where everyone is waiting. My neck is a little stiff.
Oh, there she is! Damn! Her head's so tiny! And look how long her legs are.
That is pretty amazing. I wonder what size she is in front.
When we arrive at the studio where Kanami-san is, Rise pokes her head in first to greet the staff inside and explain to them about us. Thanks to her, we're allowed to stay and watch the photo shoot from a distance, as Kanami-san is bombarded with blinding flashes.
Wow-wee! She's so cute! Her chest is like BAM! While her waist is so slim, she's totally Yosuke's type!
Hey, keep it down! Wow, though, that's really her. Seriously, thanks so much for letting us see the real Kanami.
I can't bother her while the shoot's going on, but I'll make sure to introduce you all later. You have to be on your best behavior, though. Promise?
Yes, yes. I swear on the Junes name that I won't cause a scene.
I swear on the Yosuke name that I won't cause a scene either.
That makes no sense. And why are you swearing by me?
Rise Kujikawa, what is the meaning of this? Are you on some sightseeing trip with that group of yours? If it's a field trip you're interested in, could you take it elsewhere?
Oh crap! It's Miss Ochimizu!
Rise furrows her brow and looks away. Miss Ochimizu, the producer of the LMB Fest who was so harsh towards us yesterday, is standing imposingly before us, as if to block our way.
Who's this nasty hag?
She's the general producer of the festival we're performing in. Her name is Miss Ochimizu.
Dude, are you serious? The general producer of the Love Meets Bonds Festival is Kyoka, the Empress Ochimizu?
You know about her, Yosuke?
Of course I do. She's always on TV. She's this super scary lady who has no problem making other celebrities cry.
I don't get it, but it sounds like she's sort of important.
Honestly, we've had enough complications already. I don't need any more cropping up. Perhaps I should demand extra payment from Takara Productions for having to deal with these rude children.
The hell'd you say?
Whoa, hold it, Kanji, give me a break! Dude, wait, do you hear something?
What is this? Where's it coming from?
Hey, Soundtex, what's going on?
I hear it too. It's a song that's faintly echoing from somewhere. I wouldn't forget a song like this.
It's that song we heard yesterday right before we fell into the midnight stage.
Senpai, look.
I look and see Kanami-san raising her hand upward, a curious gaze in her eyes. I follow her gaze and catch sight of something all too familiar. That same strange light we saw yesterday in the studio when we heard this eerie song.
Whoa. What is this? Could this be a close encounter of some kind?
doesn't make sense. It's not midnight. What's going on?
There's no time for that. Konami's gonna get taken.
Konami's what?
Miss Ochimizu, please move aside.
Excuse us.
Wow! My babies are surprisingly bold.
Rise and Yukiko push Miss Ochimizu aside and rush towards Konami-san. The rest of us follow close behind.
Wait! I said wait!
Konami, get away from that light!
Huh? Rise-senpai?
Miss Ochimizu?
We all tried to shield Konami-san from the ribbons shooting out from the eerie light hovering near the ceiling. But Miss Ochimizu is faster than any of us and pushes Konami-san herself, getting caught by the ribbons instead. She made a snap decision. Miss Ochimizu knew Konami-san was in danger, but she couldn't have known what would happen next. Was she trying to protect Konami-san? I looked towards her with some surprise as she scolds Konami-san.
How troublesome. Don't I always tell you not to space out like that?
Ms. Ochimizu?
Listen, if something happens to me, go to Inoue. The festival must...
She got dragged in. What are we gonna do?
We follow her. Come on, everyone.
Yeah!
We all chase after Miss Ochimizu and throw ourselves toward the eerie light. Just because it worked once doesn't mean we'll make it through a second time. I pray for everyone's safety as I throw myself into the light after them.
Whoa!
Mayonaka stage.
Looks like we made it.
Looks like
Ow! I fell right on my butt.
Just as we caught sight of a faint light, we were suddenly thrown out somewhere. We all managed to keep our balance as we land, and when I look around I see that everyone is safe, though Teddy and Kanji appear to have landed right on Yosuke.
Well, at least we made it in one piece.
That took a while. I was worried I might get separated from everyone and be one lonely bear.
You know, I remember something like this happening before. That takes me back.
Can you guys chat after you get off of me?
The hell you doing, Yosuke-senpai?
What's with that tone? I'm the victim here.
All right, no fighting. Huh. Is this the midnight stage?
I take the chance to check my surroundings once again. It's a dark, eerie place filled with bizarre objects and patterns. It's a familiar sensation, and then there's that eerie song I hear echoing from somewhere. There's no doubt, this place must be the midnight stage. However...
Yeah, but this place looks different from where we were before.
Last time, that voice seemed keen on capturing Rise-san. It invited us directly to a prepared stage. Perhaps we're being treated differently this time because we forced our way in.
What is that voice?
It's the master of the midnight stage, and probably the culprit behind this.
Didn't I say this place is off limits to unauthorized personnel? Or do you want to connect with us after all?
The eerie voice echoes from all directions, making it hard to tell where it comes from. Though we're on guard and searching for the source of this eerie voice, we don't have even a chance of finding them.
Enough with these games! Who are you? Release Tomoe and the others right now, and Miss Ochimizu too!
Release them? That wouldn't be right. Can't you see they're happier here?
Happy? Is it serious? They're locked up here by force. There's no way they're happy about that.
Do I see some new faces here? Good. You can connect with us too.
You're not willing to listen, huh? And we'll have to do it the hard way.
Do what you want. You'll understand eventually.
Suddenly, the chokingly oppressive aura disappears, and it feels as if the air has at least gotten a little easier to breathe. Most likely it's because the source of that voice has vanished from this area.
The atmosphere seems different. Is it gone?
Yeah, I think so. I'm just glad we weren't cast out like last time.
That aside, I really don't like how this place feels. It looks fun and all, but it totally doesn't feel that way. It's kind of like my world, and I can smell some familiar scents from way off, but it doesn't feel connected to my world.
You mean the TV world?
Yeah, it might be in the same neighborhood, but I don't think there are any ways to go back and forth.
So this midnight stage is a world all its own.
By the way, is that the entrance? It branches off in 2 different paths.
Is there a dance first? We look to where Chie is pointing. Sure enough, there looks to be a giant gate that splits the path into 2 directions. The atmosphere seems to be welcoming us to some kind of event. It feels somehow wrong though, and I quickly look away from it.
Hold on, let me search around. Come, Himiko!
Whoa. I know you told us already, but we really can summon our personas here. But we can't use them to fight with, right?
We tried, but what the voice said was true. No acts of aggression worked. Whether it was using my persona or Naoto's gun. No one hurts or gets hurt. That must be the rule here.
No one gets hurt, huh? That sounds fishy already. It's way too good to be real.
Indeed. Also, that voice used bizarre ribbon-like objects it referred to as eternal bonds. They seemed to be what kept the shadows bound to this world. When I was caught by one myself, I could clearly tell that it wasn't any true bond, but outright brainwashing. No one should be allowed to force someone to discard their very self just for the sake of another's desires.
That's why we need to show them how we feel with our dancing.
Hey, I found them! Tamami is through here, and Tomoe is further in the back.
As everyone's nodding to my words, Rise's voice echoes sharply. Sounds like she's found Tomoe-san in the others' readings. Rise's ability has really improved lately. Her persona is one strength of heart, so if her power has gotten stronger, it proves that Rise has grown a lot. In this case though, Rise finding their readings was proof of a bitter truth for us.
I'm sensing Sumomo and Nozomi down the other path. Guess we were right about all 4 of them being over here. But Tomoe's reading is much weaker than yesterday. The others seem pretty weak too. We need to get them out of here.
I was hoping this wouldn't be the case. We better hurry.
Then why don't we split up into 2 teams? That way, each team can save 2 of the girls.
There are 2 forks to the path here, but it seems like they come together again further down. If we do like Yukiko-senpai says, we should be able to meet up there.
Everyone nods at Rise's words. I see. Even if we split up into 2 teams here and go through different entrances, we'll still be guaranteed to meet up again later.
That takes care of that. Okay, Rise is a pro, and Yu's already won once with his dancing, so they should be on different teams.
In that case, me and Naoto go with Rise. Might as well just split up at what year we're in, yeah?
I guess that's fine. I just wasn't expecting that from you.
We've actually been talking. Like, we can't keep relying on our senpai forever, you know?
That's correct. We thought we should find our own way of working that suits us. I hadn't expected to put it to the test here, but it would be a good opportunity. I'll support Kanji-kun's proposal as well.
Whoa! You guys have been thinking about this a lot, huh?
I bet you guys never knew we talked about stuff like that. If you keep treating us like kids, we'll surpass you before you know it.
That sounds like a great idea. I'm with Kanji on this one too.
All right, let's make it a competition. We'll see which team can rescue these girls faster. Bring it on!
Hey, what about me? Which team am I on?
You're coming with us. If they had 5 on their team and we only had 3, that wouldn't be fair, would it?
I'm getting fired up! The time has come for me to overcome the great wall that is Sensei and fly out into the vast world beyond!
Fly away from Junes first, will ya?
Anyway, we'll each rescue 2 girls, then meet up at the rendezvous point, okay? I'll make sure to keep an eye on you guys, and if anything happens on our end, I'll let you know with my persona.
I hope you don't mind us going on ahead. We'll see you in a bit.
Senpai! You better not let your guard down and get your asses handed to you by some weird thing.
I like that pause. Kanji, Naoto, Rise, and Teddy each give us big smiles as they run past the giant gate. Looks like they're off to a great start. Our team, on the other hand, is still astounded at our junior's unexpected growth. Watching them dart off.
Did they just totally steal the spotlight?
Wow, they've all grown up before we knew it. I felt like I was watching them leave the nest for the first time.
Yukiko, you sound like my mom.
We should hurry too. We need to save Tomoe-san and Tamami-san as fast as we can.
All right then. Third year investigation team, you guys ready to go?
Yes.
You bet.
We can't fall behind here either. Of course, our objective is to rescue the kidnapped members of Kanamin Kitchen, and this isn't a race or anything. But even then, we'll take on the road ahead with everything we have. Keep a step ahead. And I think I may, let's see, how is menu? There we go. See, I do have it on standard. There. I don't know why on standard it's on easy still. That doesn't make sense. Just making sure that stayed. Alright, cool. So dancing will be more frequent, I think, from here. After splitting from Kanji and the others, and traveling farther down the path, the atmosphere starts changing. Still a creepy sight, but how do I put it? It feels like the surroundings and paths have been kind of standardized. It looks like the others are feeling the same thing. They're glancing around with worried expressions on their faces.
This is a very different look compared to the last place.
What is this? It's starting to look like some weird circus.
The TV world changed according to the mind of whoever appeared on the Midnight Channel, right? There's shadows around, and we can call our personas here. So does that mean this midnight stage works the same way?
You're telling me someone's mind looks like a circus on the inside? That, raises a lot of questions.
Welcome to Tamami Wesugi's Midnight Stage.
It's that voice! Stop hiding and show yourself!
I'm trying to think in my head who Tamami is. Is that the aggressive girl?
And why should I do that? I don't see any reason to bother with you.
What?
Yosuke anger is only natural. We can't see whoever's speaking and we still haven't figured out what it's trying to do. It's like our words aren't even reaching it. But that's not important now. If it's not going to listen, then we need it to at least draw as much information as we can.
You just said this was Tamami-san's stage. Is she up ahead?
Yes, she is. And her performance is about to begin. She's going to become the Tamami everyone wants. A true star, shining brightly at our eternal concert.
Rise told me about your spiel. Becoming the you that others want, huh? That's just letting yourself be brainwashed.
Brainwashed? Not at all. This is for Tamami's sake. Forcing others to deal with your true self won't make anyone happy. To her, there's no point in being someone that nobody loves. But if she becomes the Tamami everyone wants, then everyone will love her. Nothing could make her happier.
A white-hot flash runs through my mind. I knew the voice wouldn't listen to us, but I didn't think it would be like this. That voice has no ill intentions. It truly believes it's doing this for Tamami's sake.
This doesn't look good. Nothing we say is getting through.
In any case, I'm sorry you've come all this way. But I'm afraid there's no admission for those without a ticket.
Yeah, okay, I think I'm starting to remember the format. Black mist starts to swirl up in front of us, eventually taking form and blocking our way forward. Shadows.
What the? Shadows connected by ribbons, just like Naoto-kun said.
Be careful, don't get caught.
Come on, connect with us. If you do, I'll let you join us and see Tamami on stage.
As if triggered by the voice, that eerie song begins playing, causing all the shadows to dance. I instinctively look away, but it's futile. Since this world amplifies the ability to express yourself, their dance goes past simple visual appeal and reaches directly into our minds. Losing strength, I struggle to fight back against the urge to join the shadows.
This song again.
I know I was warned, but I didn't think it would be this bad.
Oh crap, they're getting closer!
Everyone hang in there. Don't let the pressure overwhelm you.
Yosuke nods and takes a step forward. Reading his eyes, I instantly understand what he's going to do. Yosuke, you've got this.
Good thing Rise assigned each of us a song to work on. Dancing is expressing ourselves. I still don't quite get it. It looks like I gotta give it a shot.
Give it a... Yosuke! You're gonna dance?
Hey, when it comes to showing off your moves, it's first come, first served. Sorry, but I got dibs on this one.
Senpai, everyone, are you alright?
Rise, perfect timing. I need my song.
Yosuke Senpai's track? Okay, I'm on it. I'll turn it up full blast.
So wait! All right, Rise, hit it!
Let's get it started now.
I'll be sure to make it look good.
Alrighty, let's tackle this head on!
Okay, bring it on whenever!
You're on fire! Alright! Time to bust out my steak power! That's the spirit! Keep going! Whoa! You're pretty good too, Yosuke!
Haha, not bad, Chie. That was some sharp footwork.
Good, I can sense both your passion.
Amazing moves, Chie. Should I learn Kung Fu too? Ha! There! Hurrat!
Wow!
Woo! Okay, bring it on whenever! Yup! There! Great! Woo! Hurrat!
Let's kick things up a notch! That's the spirit! Keep going!
Yup!
Oh, you're pretty good too, Yosuke!
Haha, not bad, Chie. That was some sharp footwork.
Good, I can sense both your passion.
That was the best performance ever! The power of meat at work! There! Go, Jiraiya!
King Crazy!
Yeah, baby.
Did it! A perfect dance!
Whoa! A perfect score! You surprised me!
Two trophies. Alright. 3 trophies. Holy crap.
Yosuke, you did it! That was a great performance.
Yes, you were wonderful.
Phew! Not such a disappointment now, huh? It's not like I've been screwing around all this time, you know?
Whoa. Chie, are you all right? You're spacing out.
Oh, it's nothing. It's nothing at all, really. Just, it caught me off guard, and I was like, damn, Yosuke!
Oh, what was that, Chie? Now that you've seen how cool I can be, are you falling for me?
No, that's not possible. Right, Chie?
Yeah, your dance was awesome, but none of that other stuff.
Yukiko-san, Chie-san, it was supposed to be a joke. Could you please get the punchline instead of taking it seriously? Oh, damn it. Even the shadows understand me better than you two.
Chie and Yukiko ignore Yosuke's stubborn complaints. As I approach Yosuke to console him, the glowing shadows around us suddenly begin melting away.
Whoa.
You know, it says I can go to the menu. Okay, I can. Oh, there we go. I didn't realize it was on 0. Alright. Hopefully that was better. It's just a little weird to not hear anything from pushing the notes.
Wow! It's beautiful!
The shadows, cheering in joy at Yosuke's dance, are engulfed by light. Little by little, they fade away into the air. It's a beautiful sight no matter how many times I see it. We all watch in awe.
What's up with those shadows anyway? I mean, these guys are kind of different from the shadows we're used to, huh? Usually they try to beat the crap out of us as soon as they see us.
Now that you mention it, you're right. Oh, are they calm because they're chained down? You know, like Chosokabe.
Chosokabe? The Sengoku-era feudal lord?
No, not him! You know my dog! His name's Muku! I keep telling her, but she keeps forgetting.
Hell, this isn't even the TV world. Are there really this many shadows outside of it? I know it happened once, but that was kind of a special case.
Yosuke's right. I hadn't given much thought to it since this isn't the real world. Are shadows really everywhere? Just as our personas prove, shadows are entities tied closely to the human mind. I highly doubt that they could just be anywhere that qualifies as an alternate world.
Maybe they were caught in the TV world and then they got yanked over here.
Perhaps someone was walking them?
Are you still stuck on dogs?
I don't know if it's from the TV world or not, but it's possible they were brought here from somewhere.
Let's say they're from inside the TV. You'd think Teddy would have noticed their presence first thing, right? But if it's not the TV they came from, that'd mean there could be shadows anywhere.
First off, where even is here? This definitely isn't the TV world, right?
Teddy said as much, so we can at least be sure about that. Probably.
That voice said this is a place where no one hurts.
Yeah, no one hurts or gets hurt, right? Well, if you get brainwashed by that ribbon, I guess you wouldn't even think about hurting anyone. Who the heck is that voice anyway? Sure sounds like they know a lot about this world.
More like it rules this world. Maybe that voice created everything here.
That is a very Chie-like idea. Who made this place? It's certainly possible. We don't have enough information to determine that.
Who knows? It's not like any one specific person made the TV world either. Though if the voice does have that kind of power, then we're up against one tough opponent.
It's hard to believe this is all the work of a normal person. Aha! Maybe the culprit isn't human. An alien, maybe?
I kinda doubt that.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I did a little research after getting Risei's text. You know what people are saying about the LMB website's video, right? That it's the curse of a dead idol?
Everyone turned toward Yosuke, startled. No, Yukiko was fascinated and Chie was horrified at his unexpected words. Chie has a known problem dealing with this kind of subject, and she's quick to challenge Yosuke's statement.
What? No, stop right there! How can you bring up that stuff at a time like
Hey, I'm being serious here. There was an idol that committed suicide a while ago. And rumor has it that she cursed the site from beyond the grave.
So since she's already dead, you think she has supernatural powers?
Oh, you too, Yukiko! Just stop! Conversation over! Come on! We should get going! We need to save Tamami-chan, right? We don't have time to be standing around chatting!
She's right. Maybe what we're talking about relates to the incident, but it's dangerous to waste time talking. Mostly for Chie. We still have a ways to go. Can't have her losing her composure. She's valuable help. Plus she dislikes this subject. We need to go over it to solve this mystery, then unfortunately for her, we'll do so. But right now, we better move on.
You're right. Let's focus on rescuing Tamami-san.
All right. If we're ready, then let's move.
We all nod and start running down the path. Tamami-san is up ahead. We need to save her. I'm probably gonna do like one more song and then I'll be done for today. I need to get up early anyways.
Look! Someone's there!
We spot a silhouette up ahead and she is the first to speak out. On closer inspection, it's definitely a girl wearing a familiar white outfit, looking utterly lost.
It's her! Tamami-san!
Yep, that's the aggressive girl.
You-san? Huh? Why are you here?
Dude, awesome! Just like on TV. It's the real fluffy hand in the flesh! Huh? But why are you in your stage outfit?
We were practicing, and we heard this creepy song, and then something all flat and slithery wrapped around us, and I don't know what happened, but the next thing I knew, I was here. This doesn't make any sense. Where are we? And who are you?
Looks like seeing a familiar face has brought her at least some relief. Tamami-san keeps changing expression, like a child throwing a tantrum, as she yells at us. I've met her before, so I'm a bit used to it, but the others seem a little taken aback by her attitude.
Oh, yeah. We haven't introduced ourselves. I'm Yosuke Hanamura, this guy's partner. And this is Chie Satonaka and Yukiko Amagi. They're our friends. Our team, I guess? Anyhow, you can relax now that we're here. Don't worry, Tamamin. We'll save you.
Yosuke-san, Chie-san, and Yukiko-san?
Tamami-san steps toward Yosuke and the others and takes a good look at each of them, staring into each person's face. Judging from what I know of her, I might have an idea of what she's trying to do. Well, that sounds a little misleading. It'd be more accurate to just say she's trying to pick a fight again.
Huh? Something wrong?
Nice to meet you.
Whoa, that's close. What's up?
Yep, I win. I'm the cutest one here. What?
That's what that was about? Is this really the time for that? And hey, why am I even in the running?
Suddenly, the atmosphere around us changes. Without a word, we are ready ourselves for action. We know this feeling. As we expected, an all too familiar voice echoed down from above to us. No, to Tamami-san standing behind us.
I found you. Oh, Tamami, what a funny girl you are.
Well, who do we have here? We won't let you have Tamamin.
You're still around? Sorry, but it's almost time for Tamami's big performance. Let's go, Tamami. Make everyone laugh, like you always do.
Why should I go with you? Besides, I'm not trying to make anyone laugh.
Oh, I know. You're just working hard, always trying to do your best. But it's a funny thing, isn't it? The harder you work, the farther away you seem to push everyone.
Funny? How dare you?
It's all right. I understand your pain. If you connect with me, you won't have to suffer at all.
Black mist gathers and forms a crowd of shadows. Like before, they're all connected by ribbons, and they eerily sway their bodies. They try to reach out to us as they eerily sway their bodies.
These guys again? Dude, There's even more of them this time.
I won't have to suffer?
Don't be fooled. You can't listen to what that voice says.
Huh? Okay.
All four of us, Chie, Yukiko, Yosuke, and I, stand in front of the shadows, blocking Tamami-san. There's only one thing to do. Can't let them take her.
Hey, you! Think you can smooth talk to Mommy-chan? Whoa! Not gonna happen! Sorry!
That's right! All your pretty words are nothing but lies!
Huh. Now that we're here, it's not gonna be so easy for you.
Stop yapping. You don't know a thing about Tamami. No one likes pain or suffering, so let's all get connected.
The eerie song begins playing, and the shadows start up their dance. And again, this strange feeling of lethargy washes over us.
What is this song? My head!
This song again? No matter how many times I hear it, it makes me cringe.
Oh, so many shadows! Just how many more are there in this freaking place?
Still, we can't afford to lose. Stand back, everyone.
Wait, Yukon. I'll dance this one.
Yukiko, what are you saying?
Don't worry. I've been practicing the song Risei-chan gave me every time I took a bath at our inn.
Pretty sure it's not Snowflakes. I'm trying to remember what other song she has.
First come, first served. Right, Yosuke-kun? Then here I come.
Yukiko walks ahead of me and exhales sharply through her nose, strengthening her posture. She looks ready and willing. In fact, looking at her,
Hey, you think maybe Yukiko just really wanted to dance?
Yukiko, you were dancing in the inn's open-air bath?
Sorry for the hold-up, Senpai. The shadows are right in front of you, aren't they?
Risei-chan, I'll be dancing this time. Can you prepare the music for me?
You mean your track, Yukiko-senpai? Give me a second. Okay, ready when you are.
Thank you. Then let's begin.
wait, is it 3 songs per person? I mean, per person you rescue?
It's starting. All
Oh,
right,
heartbreak.
time to focus.
I'm eager to see your elegant dance, Yukiko.
Heartbreak, 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 heartbeat, heartbeat, it keeps on pounding. Heartbreak, heartbreak, you tell me goodbye. Heartbeat, 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 heartbreak, tell me why you did it. Every dream falling apart. Tell me why you did it after.
Ready anytime.
Still I can, oh baby, I need your love. Looking for different, but in sweet life.
That's it! That's the rhythm!
I'll help out.
Keeps on pounding.
It's going great!
You tell me goodbye.
Splendid, Yukiko.
You're truly amazing. Thanks, Yukon.
Passionate feelings totally came across.
That was amazing, Yukon. I can really sense your feelings.
Looking good! Good! Here! Ready anytime!
You started a new life. Who is holding your hand now? You started a new life, moving forward. Dancing you one that we used to hear a million times, and I'm on in bed.
Feel my passion.
That's it. I think it's going great.
Yes! That's the spirit!
Looking great, Yukiko.
You truly are amazing. Thanks, Yukon.
I'm getting fired up! Aw!
Thanks, Yukon. You really are reliable when things matter most.
King Crazy!
Yeah, another one.
I got a perfect score? Wow, this is great!
I knew you'd pull it off perfectly, Yukiko.
That's on normal too. It gets a lot harder. On story mode, you can only go up to normal though, because I'm guessing just for anyone who's not used to rhythm games, to make sure they can get through the story. It's not a perfect score, but it was a perfect combo. As it gets further on, I'm pretty sure I won't be able to.
I guess they understood me. How well did I dance, though, I wonder?
And partially it's just because I start to break under pressure. As the shadows cheer at Yukiko's amazing dance, we run towards her, all smiles. Her, Yosuke, they're all incredible. We may have had Risei's help, but it's still impressive how far they've come. And maybe that something in this world is affecting them, but even then I can tell how much they've been practicing. Of course, Risei deserves credit as well. She had a pretty strict regimen for us.
Wow. Who are these people?
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the last song, but I know there's gonna be one more song popping up, so I might as well do that one too.
Are they really amateurs? Her moves weren't anything special, but the emotion in that dance, I can't possibly...
Do you see now, Tamami? They'll only hurt you. You're not like them. They can't save you.
Stop being a sore loser. You trying to pull something else?
Me? Oh no, you're the ones tormenting Tamami.
No, I need to be number one. The best. Or else my place, my purpose.
Tamami-san, stay calm.
No!
Tamamine!
Tamami-san!
It happens all at once. Countless ribbons start out of nowhere and drag Tamami-san off into the distance. We stand there frozen, everything happening before we have a chance to react. What was that? The voice talked to Tamami-san, and the moment she faltered, the ribbons bolted out with unimaginable speed.
Damn it, what the hell was that?
We can't save Tamami-san? What did that voice mean?
Later, we have to hurry. She wasn't acting normal at all. Tamami-chan is in danger! You're right, let's chase after her.
After sharing a nod, we dash off in the direction Tamami-san disappeared. We won't let our guard down this time. Tamami-san, we will save you. Chie would be the next logical dancer. I don't know what... I know one of her songs is Best Friends, but I'm not sure if that's the one coming up. As we run down the path, the surroundings get stranger and stranger. Eventually, we arrive at a giant tent. We go inside without a moment's hesitation. Yosuke yelps, though not out of disgust or shock.
What the... This is an actual circus tent. Is Tamamine really here?
I see her! Over there!
Yukiko points to the center of the tent, where Tamami-san stands, lit up by a spotlight as if she's performing.
Shut up! I'm going to be the best. The #1 idol in the industry. Do you have any idea how much I've done? How hard I've worked for that?
True. You've put a lot of effort into realizing your goal. But is that what you really want?
I'm surprised it's still this track. I would figure another track would pop up around this time.
You just want to be accepted. All your life, your famous actress of a mother and your beloved father have told you to be a star.
How could you know about that?
I know everything about you, and I know how badly you're hurting inside. You've been trying hard for them, but you're well aware that you'll never live up to your mother's image, or even Konami. And since you're not the best, no one is going to accept you. No one will ever love you. Poor Tamami.
Stop it! Stop it!
Tamami-san shakes her head vehemently, like a child, and crouches down as if to reject everything it's saying. It's so familiar. I've seen things like this happen again and again. It's the worst case scenario, when a human who has fallen into the TV world denies their own shadow, and the shadow goes wild. I'm sure everyone's thinking the same thing. One moment we're holding our breath, the next moment we all dash for Tamami-san.
This is bad. We gotta hurry.
Tamami-san!
Tamami-san!
Look, they've come for you, Tamami. Stronger, more talented people, here to save a helpless little girl. Yes, I know that you aren't strong. You don't really want to be the best.
No, that's not true.
It's all right. Don't kill yourself over something you're not. People want you just the way you are. Just listen for yourself. Listen to everyone's voices.
There's that music.
Tamami doesn't need to be number one. Her looks are pretty average, but she's still decently popular. Who cares if she doesn't sell that much?
Suddenly, an unfamiliar voice resounds from above. No, not from above. It feels like it's whispering directly into our ears, different from Rise's persona communication.
What the? Who's talking?
I don't know. But is he talking about Tamamine?
I know, right? As long as she's fun to watch, I'm totally fine. She's kind of a natural airhead. All she needs to do is make us laugh sometimes.
I don't want her to break out or anything. I prefer she just kept being the group's comic relief.
I heard she does a ridiculous amount of training on her own, but why? She won't lose her job as long as she keeps people laughing, don't you think?
See, Tamami? You don't need to go to such trouble. No one expects it. Won't you accept these people's desires? You can leave your days of pain and hardship behind.
I see. I never needed to work hard, after all.
At Tamami-san's words, it happens. Ribbons fly from all sides, wrapping around her body and lifting her into the air. But even caught there in the ribbons, like prey in a spider web, Tamami-san remained quiet.
Tamamine!
Tamami-chan! I don't care anymore. If that's what everybody wants, I might as well take the easy way.
Suddenly the ribbons bind Tamami-san's entire body, wrapping her like a cocoon. And at the same time, black mist, like that of a shadow frenzy, just like we saw upon first entering this world, begins churning over her body.
What the hell? Dude, this looks bad.
She's been taken in by the voice's power.
There. We're connected. Now you can become the Tamami everyone wants.
Yes, it feels great. This is the me that all the people love. I'm totally fine with this. Everybody will accept me now. And all I had to do was forget about myself.
Now that's just gigantic. A clown outfit, a balloon-like body that's easily over 2 meters, and a giant face drawn on its stomach. After the ribbons burst, a creepy and yet ludicrous creature stands where Tamami-san was. As we prepare for conflict, one inexplicable thought runs through my mind. It's even bigger than Kanji. Hearing eerie cheering from behind, we turn to see the stands, empty moments ago, now filled with shadows connected by ribbons. So this is what that voice meant by Tamami-san's stage is starting. Now Tamami-san has taken on the form that the shadows wanted all along.
Oh, I've had enough of this! Throwing your feelings away, pandering to people so they like you? There's no point in that! People should be proud of you for training like crazy, for fighting to make yourself even better! I know you know that, Tamami-chan, and I'm not gonna forgive anyone who doesn't respect hard work!
To be honest, I was surprised. She must have been outraged. Ever since we've been dancing, she looked the most hesitant, but now she's taking the stage. She's probably the most earnest of us all, and the hardest worker. I'm sure she couldn't stand seeing Tamami-san being made a fool of when she's working so hard.
Chie! There's lots of things I hate about myself. I tried to hide them, worried that people might not like me. But these guys saw me inside and out, and they accepted me for who I am. That's why I'm with them now. All the important stuff that everyone taught me, I'll get it through to you, Tamami-chan.
Yeah, Chie! Knock him dead!
Chie-senpai, I heard everything.
Rise-chan? It's kind of embarrassing, but there you have it. So cue it up.
Yeah, I'm cranking it up, so show me that fancy footwork.
Alrighty then, let's do this!
Showtime!
Tamami-chan, we'll save you in no time!
Good luck to you. I'll be cheering you on.
We are living the
Alright, success! Bam!
Oh, she says bam a lot.
Going great!
Come on, let go of the remote. Don't you know you're ready on a jump for it? Turn us the boat.
Alright, success! Alright, charging complete!
Yeah!
Going great!
Here it comes! Fever time!
Alright, success! That's the spirit! Keep going!
We'll have you saved in no time, Tamamine!
Thanks, Yosuke! I knew you could do it if you tried! I can tell you truly understand each other! You
Ah,
nailed it,
frick.
Yosuke! You're pretty good too!
Dang it. Here goes the King Crazy.
I'm on a roll!
Get up, it's time to get real. Can't control the steering wheel. Outside isn't a bad mystery. Won't get out so easily. We are living
Alright,
our lives, so
success!
we arise what's happening. Hey, brother, what you feel?
Bam!
You think don't miss your chance. When they all get in and get your own dance.
Going great!
You must know what's ahead. Driving through the
Alright, I'm on a roll! Alright, charging complete!
You are standing in the middle of another world. It's hard to figure real
Going great!
You are solid in ocean.
Bam!
With bitter tears, let me help you find
Alright,
the
success!
place you got it.
Alright, things are heating up!
Dropping a maze of relationships.
That's the spirit! Keep going!
Without you,
We'll have you saved in no time, Tamamine!
Not bad, Yosuke! You rocked the house! I can tell they truly understand each other! I guess your moves aren't just for show! Thanks! Going great! Wow!
it's your own dance.
Persona!
Brilliant!
That was
Should
close.
be brave. Women too. Is that right?
Impressive, Chie. Looks like your training paid off.
Getting that money at least.
Did that do it?
The monster lets out a scream of pain and writhes. Awakened by Chie's dance, its voice is gradually turning back into Tamami-san's. When it finally breaks down, the monster crumbles away and only Tamami-san is left standing there, hanging her head.
Tamamine!
What? Oh, that's right. Well, I guess I really blew it there.
No biggie, right?
Yeah, what's important is that you get it now, Tamami-chan.
Oh, man. I thought I did everything I could, but I didn't realize I had so much to learn.
Biting her lip, she looks miserable. She must have gone through things that we can only imagine. Along with that bitterness, I could feel a new resolve from her as well. And as proof, Tamami-san raises her head up, looking more determined than ever.
I'm going to stick to my extra voice training and all the dance lessons. No matter what anyone else thinks, I won't give up. I'll keep at it so one day, I'll be able to express my real self to those people I heard. Thank you so much, Chie-san. And you too, Yu-san, Yukiko-san, and Yosuke-san.
Good luck. I'm sure you can do it.
But I'm still gonna be number one. No more helpless little girl, ever. From now on, I'm the one doing the saving. It'll be exciting, dramatic. Like I'd suddenly appear and save a puppy caught in a storm drain.
Hey, you think she knows this kind of stuff is why people think of her as the goofy one?
Don't ask me! You guys, I'm standing right here. I'm an idol. A very serious, very professional, non-comic relief idol.
Tamami yells, and for a moment it feels like the same hectic atmosphere we first met her, before a pillar of light descends nearby. A thick metal door appears as if from thin air. What is that?
What the? A door of some kind. But where does it lead?
Wait, is this the door to our dressing room? Oh, it totally is. It's got the same scratch right across here.
The door to the dressing room?
Yeah, the one at Takara Productions. We use it all the time when we have a recording session or something.
Come to think of it, it is familiar. This door does look like the one at Takara Productions we use for practice with Rise. But these types of doors are in most studios. Being newcomers to Takara Productions, we're not in a position to identify it for sure. But what about Tamami-san? She's a veteran idol, and she knows the studio. She's been going there for years. If she says that it's their door, then...
Takara Productions. You mean where we came from? How could it be here, though?
Let's go take a look inside. We might find out something.
Oh, is it raining?
Hello? Excuse me?
Oh yeah, it's definitely raining.
It's a tiny bit different, but this is the Takara Productions dressing room. I'm sure of it.
I don't sense any enemies around. I think we might be safe here.
I could feel everyone's tension drop after I say so. As I thought, they're all tired. Been on high alert ever since we arrived here. I don't blame them. Realizing something, Yukiko raises her hand to her ear and listens carefully.
Did you notice you can't hear that bizarre song in here?
There's something about this room. It's different from the other places we've been so far.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Almost makes me forget we're in another world.
There's a note.
What
Oh, there.
is this?
Huh? Some kind of note?
A note? Does that mean someone was here before us?
I don't think this is a letter. It's more like a diary entry.
A diary? Whose, though? Hey, you mind reading that out?
The pressure from everyone is crushing me. No one really knows me. I don't have any bonds with anyone. I don't want to sing. I have no right to sing that song. It hurts so much. I feel like I'm suffocating. I want to disappear. I'm too weak even to stand on my own. I just wish I could connect to someone, to have a bond to support me.
The writer was clearly in a lot of pain. I wonder if they came here and wrote it.
But this isn't the real world. Who would even have had the chance to do that?
A silence settles over us. After all, none of us have the answer to that question. This rather realistic note left here. Because of how strange it is, it feels like a clue to something.
I just thought of something. But, I don't know.
Say it, Yosuke.
That voice out there kept telling us and Tamamine to get connected, right? And then there's this note. And the idol who committed suicide? I don't know. But I'm getting the idea that it's all...
You know I can't handle that stuff! An idol who committed suicide?
Everyone, are you all right?
Oh, Rise, we're fine. How about you guys?
What the? What's going on? Oh no! Now I'm hearing voices? Rise-senpai's in my head!
Right, since we're on this world, it slipped my mind, but Tamami-san and the others don't know about personas or shadows. It's only natural for Tamami-san to panic when Rise's voice is suddenly in her head. I wasn't quite sure how to explain it, but Yukiko instantly solved that problem.
Don't worry, it's like a phone. It's harmless. Oh, really?
We just saved Sumomo. You're with Tamami, right? I can tell she's there.
I'm glad you're safe. Looks like things are going well on your end, too.
Yeah, Kanchi and Teddy are both really pulling their weight. Oh, and so is Naoto-kun, naturally.
I see. I was a bit worried, but it looks like Rise's team is doing better than I thought. As I glanced to Tamami-san, she breathes a sigh of relief at hearing of the safety of her fellow idol.
Oh, thank God. Sumomo's okay.
And the place you're in right now, it looks like a dressing room, right?
What about it?
I think it'd be best to leave Tamami there to rest, instead of moving on ahead with her.
What? Why? I don't want to stay here on my...
Just as Tamami-san stepped forward to speak, she lost her balance. Ready to spring forward to catch her, we all breathed a sigh of relief when she managed to stay standing.
Tamami-san, are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just... I feel really tired.
Of course, now that I think of it, that makes sense. She's been in this world a day longer than we have. We're used to situations like this, but even then we're using more energy than normal. There's no way Tamami-san wouldn't be tired.
I knew it. It's like the TV world. Normal people get exhausted just by being here. So it would do more harm than good if she went with you guys.
Is it really that safe here, though? I mean, what if shadows pop up again while we're gone?
You sent away all the shadows in your area, so it should be okay. Plus, I don't even sense a residual shadow presence in that room. It's almost like a safe zone.
A safe zone?
As far as I can tell, yeah. So you should make sure Tamami gets some rest and go on ahead. Oh, and about Miss Ochimizu? Geez, I gotta go. We'll talk later, okay?
Got it.
I said goodbye to Rise after she cut the conversation short and our communication ended. There's still business we have to talk about, but she'll probably call back later.
Was Rise-chan gonna say something at the end there? Wonder what it was.
Yeah, something about Miss Ochimizu.
Hey, do I really have to stay here? I can't go with you guys?
Being stared down by Tamami-san, I was at a loss for an answer. Rise's right, it probably is best to leave her here. But to her it feels like being abandoned in a strange, hostile world.
I understand what Rise-chan's saying, but it's only natural for Tamami-san to feel anxious being here alone. What should we do? Maybe one of us stays with her?
Considering what just happened, it's probably a bad idea to split up our forces.
I'll stay with Tamami.
Miss Ochimizu?
You need someone to stay in order for you to move on, right? So, I'm saying I'll stay.
I was in shock. It was none other than Miss Ochimizu, the head producer of LMB, exactly as I remembered her.
That is Miss Ochimizu, right? The LMB producer?
I think so. That rude lady we met at the studio. Yukiko, she can hear you! Wait, hold on. She protected Konami-chan and she got dragged into this world. Why is she standing here all cool, like nothing happened?
This has got to be what Rise wanted to tell us.
Of course I pushed Konami away to protect her. I'm sure nobody had a better plan at the time.
You don't have to say it like that.
Not good. Unlike me, the others aren't used to Miss Ochimizu yet. I'm not worried about Yosuke, but Yukiko and Chie tend to take things personally, which means they could clash with Miss Ochimizu. In order to demonstrate that this is Miss Ochimizu's normal, I tried talking with her like I usually do.
Miss Ochimizu, I'm glad to see you safe. But how did you get here?
I hate repeating myself, but I suppose I must, since you weren't with the other group. I simply walked here. When I came to, I was lying on the ground, so I started moving. I did run into some strangely dressed people along the way, but they didn't do anything to me.
Strangely dressed people? Wait,
You mean shadows? And they didn't attack you? How's that possible?
I don't know, but when I got closer, they vanished into thin air. Suppose I'm not too popular here either.
Shadows have likes and dislikes?
Pardon my rudeness, but you don't look very surprised given the situation. Why is that?
Well, I'm not that hard-headed. I don't know where this is, but after what happened, it would seem reasonable to think that something supernatural is going on here. And panicking won't get me anywhere, will it? Now, from the looks of you, I'm guessing you have an idea about what's going on. Or this is something you're used to. And you've come here to save Tamami and the others. Is that correct?
We all couldn't help but exchange glances at Miss Ochimizu's sharp deduction. She's certainly on the mark, but we still don't know her intentions.
Well, that's pretty much it, yeah.
Then I can only offer my thanks. Sumomo and Tamami. At the very least, your group rescued those two already.
Well, we just, did what we could. Wait, Ms. Ochimizu, how do you know that?
I met Rise Kujikawa and the others prior to coming here. It was after they saved Sumomo.
Dude, she really gets stuff done.
Ignoring Yosuke's reaction, Miss Ochimizu calmly scans the area, and her gaze settles on Tamami-san. Immediately, Tamami-san stands at attention, frozen like a deer in the headlights.
Tamami, if you're a professional, then bite the bullet. You're staying here with me. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Jeez, she's so intense. There's no way anyone could say no to that.
I freaking told you! This is the Empress! Every fan's worst nightmare!
That's all I have to say. If you're done here, then go. I'll leave the other members to you.
No mistakes will be tolerated, right? We'll do our best.
Miss Ochimizu snorts and tilts her head dismissively, as if ending the conversation, then looks away. Shortly, Chie comes up to me, baffled.
Yukun, I can't believe you can talk to her like it's nothing. She really gets under my skin.
Me too. Does she really have to put things so harshly? That's no way to ask favors of people. It makes me lose the will to even try.
Yeah, huh? I've seen her on TV, but man, she's even rougher in person. But is it me? Or is she harsh on purpose? I wonder if there's a hidden agenda or something.
Do you really think so? She did thank us, so I don't feel bad about anything she said.
Well, we're here to save the members of Kanamin Kitchen. Whatever she says, it doesn't change what we're going to do.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry I brought up such an awkward subject.
Anyway, we should take a quick rest and get moving. We don't have any time to lose. We need to save everyone.
2 left. There's still people we need to save. Yosuke's right. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. We've got a job to do. As I'm thinking, Miss Ochimizu finds the strange note, looking it over. After Yu's team left the dressing room, all that remained was Ochimizu and a very tense Tamami sitting alongside her. Yeah, her quirk.
You have a solo part at LMB, don't you?
Yes, I do.
How are you feeling? Any better now?
Yes, I was exhausted before, but I think I'm okay now.
I see. Can you dance for me?
Right now?
If you're too fatigued, then that's fine.
Oh, no, I'll do it. Please, let me dance.
Then start.
Yes, ma'am.
Tamami stood in front of Ochimizu and began dancing.
Stop. No, you're not getting it at all. Listen to me, Tamami. The power, the soul of that routine is like... pain and outrage, the agony of the oldest brother of a family of orphans, his precious Flan eaten by careless younger siblings. You raise your hands to the heavens and cry out in pure, wretched, exquisite misery. Do our bonds mean nothing?
What? I don't get it.
I forgot about that. Leaving Tamami-san behind, we move on. After some time, our surroundings start changing again. What is this? It was Tamami-san's stage just a minute ago. Does this mean that from here on it's something different? I don't know if this is the appropriate place to stop. I think it is.
Whoa. What do we have here?
Yeah, I would say this would be an appropriate place to stop. Is there a save? Yeah, there's a chapter select, so I think I'll be good. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. It's a lot more frequent dancing, like you can see from here on out. So I'm going to continue tomorrow. And since I don't have work Friday, I can pretty much stay up till whatever. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna see if I can host someone. I'm not too sure who might be streaming right now. Let's see. My buddy Neeks is streaming The Forest with my buddy Mars. So we're gonna go ahead and host Neeks. So let's see here. I think this is it. Yeah. Alright, have a good one, Silverlight. And Aaron, if you're still here, and whoever else might be lurking.